shit, I don't have glue.
What does hot mic mean?
Yeah, hobby without glue.
Hot mic means we're alive.
We're alive.
How's it going, folks?
I was worried I was going to catch on fire.
Oh, I gotta mute,
That's right.
mute this shit.
That's exactly what happens. You just your mic just goes poof, and then if you're too close,
dude,
use your hairline. That's
I've
how
been
a lot
watching
of people
Fire
use your
Force.
hairline.
Fire Force gets you in that fire thing where spontaneous combustion is a real thing.
All right, guys. Hello, everybody that came out to join us tonight. We're doing a little list review. We because of what's wrong with Discord? Are we good? Chat, are we good?
Yeah. I can't tell because on my phone,
I have no idea.
There's so many ads. It's playing 8 ads.
Why are we playing 8 ads? Share grab.
There are a bunch of short ads, so I think that's why there's 8.
Well, okay. We will wait for the ads to run their course.
Blame Discord for not having just. Oh, okay. But yeah.
Ooh, 9 straight ads. Okay, that's a record.
With not straight ads quality.
Right. Good. Now that we've got you all here and milked you for a couple dollars, let's get to it. So, thank you everyone that's come out to watch our list review of HAMMERFEST, the first 4th edition Texas Masters GT of the edition,
2024-2025 season.
2024-2025 season and a 4th edition. So this will be,
that is true.
For those of us that only play in Texas Masters GT, the first get together of 4th. So hopefully,
yeah, I guess this is your first GT of 4th edition, Joe.
This is my first event of 4th edition. I missed Outlaw, which a lot of y'all went to and had blast with. So,
it is
Joe, you gotta watch
my
out.
first one.
You gotta watch out. Chris is gonna dock you sports points for all.
Bro, I can't lose sports points, man. I lose enough of those playing the game as it is. So we're all very excited. We got a guest with us tonight, little outsider. We got Tyler from San Antonio, from the Sons of Slambo.
Hi, world. Nice to be here.
Right.
Thank you for having me.
That's his introduction.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. Just not your tacos. Get that shit out of here.
Hey, man, you guys lost the last taco championship to us, so I can't really blame the city. Yeah.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we lost to worms because people ate worms.
I will agree. The taco that won had worms in it and just blew me out. That's the gilded taco. We fight for that. We're fighting for it in Houston since you're going to bring it with you now. Yep. Anyway.
We do currently own the
That's why I was making the joke.
Is it still the gilded taco? I don't remember.
That
sounds really bad.
On the thing.
I apologize to all the young people out there who just let's say gilded taco twice.
Mm-hmm. All right. So for everyone that's come out and joined us, this is not a 2-day affair, 3-hour-a-day kind of thing. We are all struggling to get our HAMMERFEST prep done, along with side business stuff and life things as well. It's a very busy week for everyone here. So instead, we have 4 people, 4 grand alliances. We each picked 3 lists from those grand alliances to do a little review on. Now, these aren't necessarily lists that we think are going to win the event, just lists that kind of stuck out to us for list building creativity, maybe something someone hasn't played, and we're interested to see, how they did or how they built that list. We are still index hammer, so things are a little janky.
Excuse you. Speak for yourself. I have technically a battle tome.
You do technically have a battle tome. Chris and them were very nice to give you an additional week, much to my chagrin, to get your rules that amounted to some nerfs, I believe.
In some ways, yes. In many ways, for my list in particular, no.
Now, we did get an FAQ today, and honestly, I think everyone is pretty happy with the FAQ. I haven't seen anyone like really kind of raging against the machine or disliking the FAQ for whatever reason. I certainly don't. I like everything that's in it.
FAQ is good. It needs to do more, but we're getting there, which is fine. And the nice thing about the FAQ is they're going to be doing stuff every month, so that's cool. I'm good with it. Allegedly, yeah. I mean, we should have. Would have been nice if we got this sooner, but you take what we can get, right?
Right.
You take what you can get.
The FAQ also shows the GW is not afraid to hit something hard like they did with Priority Target.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only problem is point adjusting based purely on play rate and nothing else. That's the only major thing I really
need to
noticed.
be more expensive.
So honestly, I don't know. Like, look at Long Strike. So I've been playing basically exclusively Stormcast since 4th has come out, and Long Strikes are in like 90-something% of all Stormcast lists. They didn't go up.
They're 90% of all Stormcast lists, but how much are they actually paying attention to Stormcast overall?
Do you want to know why they didn't go up?
They sure as hell should be paying attention to us. We have a fucking book waiting.
You also have a book waiting, which is why your points didn't get adjusted.
That is exactly why they didn't do shit to your book.
What are you talking about? We got fantastic points adjustments in the FAQ today.
You got the like book previews. What you got?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll take it.
Went down. An Ionis that has God tier points.
Oh God.
I don't know.
The
I'm looking more stuff
cheaper,
like
man.
He did get cheaper.
Vigilar's got a huge point drop. The Terminus for Clusians got point drops, and I think those maybe not the most competitive Stormcast options, but are now definitely pointed to where it's like, yeah, fuck it, you can bring them and still probably build a really, really good list. But we're not here to talk about Stormcast. At least I'm not. So
any of us are?
You could.
I will be talking about a little Stormcast today, because we're each going to talk about our own lists at the end of the review. So, Charagrat, why don't you go ahead and give us the list document so we can get in on this. All right. Excuse me. Okay, so we're going to start off with death. I wrote the document. I started with myself, so that's what we're doing. We are going to be starting with James West's list. He's the only Flesh Eater Court player at HAMMERFEST, so I figured that is worth talking about. Well, so I was actually looking at FAQ, just kind of refreshing myself on the rules. I haven't seen them since the end of 3rd, and they seemed fine. Definitely like middle of the pack army from what I can see.
Yeah, pretty much. Like it's not. There's not anything like super impressive in that book, and there's not anything that's like super bad in that book.
So I don't know about not impressive. I guess it depends on how you feel about Morbeg Knights, and
Morbeg Knights, in my opinion, are really strong, but I don't find them impressive. But that's me personally. But it could be. Some people may not like that.
Mostly because as we get into it, I hope you like Morbeg Knights because you're going to be seeing a lot of them from James's list. All right, let's see. I'm going to find one thing before I start. One of their spells is a little silly and does multiple things.
Is it?
Yes. It's the Madness one? Something of Madness?
I have no idea what their endless spells do.
Not their endless spells. Their endless spells are pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
He took the endless spells as well. Fuck it. Okay, here we go. So, all right.
Chad, I'm waiting for Joe to tell me how Feck plays, but he won't tell me.
Okay, so here we go. Flesh Eater Court's what he's bringing. Lords of the Manor, that is his formation.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to give him an additional Serf and Knight every time he returns a model to a unit. And he'll be doing that a lot. Feck does it pretty well.
Additional models?
Yeah, so whenever he successfully returns a model to a unit from any ability, he gets an additional Surf or Knight. He's got a bunch of Surfs, but he's also got a bunch of Morbeg Knights. So, no, we are not reviewing all of the lists. Like I said, we don't have 7 hours between 2 days worth of time for all of us. So, big sauce of the list is Ushran here. Now, Ushran's a beat stick. He has a ton of attacks, big damage. His big ability is Feeding Frenzy. So normally it is +1 attack for units wholly within 12 inches. Ushran pushes that bubble out to 24 inches.
Yep.
So he's handing out a lot of +1 attacks in a much bigger area. Pretty difficult to bring down.
And it's accentuated by the fact that his base is Mondo. He's on a 130.
Absolutely colossal. Huge base. His unique spell, hey buddy, is pretty cool. Basically, he points at a model, specifically a model, and then that model will punch a unit within combat range of itself, and that's it. So he's like, hey, you punch those guys. Get off my water, bro.
I like that. That's funny. He makes your stuff diluted for a moment.
His rampage is also really cool. He's going to pick 3 units within combat of him. He's going to roll some dice, and I believe it's on a 3-up. He gives strike last.
It is in fact on a 3-up, yes.
Yeah. So a lot of armies out there are going to be wanting access to some kind of strike first, strike less activation shenanigans.
Well, let me be correct. It's not on a 3-up. You have to exceed the control characteristic.
Yeah.
So on one objective control models, you have to roll 2-up. Which sometimes is hard.
Yeah. Against most monsters, he's going to need a 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then against some stuff, he's not even going to be able to do it.
Nope. Like, it doesn't work on Gargants.
Yeah. All right. So, Marl Scroll Herald. I honestly...
I was going to say, the other thing you missed about Ushran is that he gets a second delusion.
Yes. He does get to pick a second delusion.
So you get one effect that affects your whole army, then Ushran lets you pick 2 effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, dropping down to the Marlsfall Herald, fun little foot hero. He has the Carnal Vestments, makes him a priest. That'll come into play because one of their chants gives additional deeds. What are they called?
Noble deeds.
Noble deeds. Gives him additional noble deeds. Cruel Taskmaster is going to add 3d6 to the rally, which is going to play back into his formation, bringing back additional models.
And that works really well since Morbeg Knights are 4 health apiece.
Yeah.
That gives you a chance at actually rallying a full Morbeg Knight back on average.
Yeah, so if maths correctly for James all weekend, which for James it typically doesn't, but when it does, on average he's going to get 2 Morbeg Knights back every rally.
Yeah. Because the battle formation does affect the rally roll, right? It's not just when he brings stuff back with noble deeds.
Yeah. Anytime he brings
anytime the flame models return, which is dope.
How many wounds are the Murdoch Knights?
There are 4. So with the Cool Taskmaster, you're rolling 9 dice, looking for 4 4s that bring back 8 wounds worth of stuff.
That's pretty cool.
It's really neat synergy. And then if you and then you can use the noble deeds points to also bring stuff back. So it's very possible that like if they're down 4 over the course of 1 turn, he has them all back.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So one of the things they can spend noble deeds on is 2 noble deeds will bring a knight back. So 2 noble deeds get 2 Morbeg Knights back. Seems pretty fucking good. And then they also get to return a slain unit at half strength back as well.
Yep.
For 6 noble deeds.
Yep.
So these 12 Morbeg Knights over the course of a game, if you cannot remove them in a single go, could realistically turn into what? 18, 20 more big knights over the course of a game.
Yeah, you got to do a lot of damage to them to really neuter each of the units.
And they're what, four wounds, five-man unit.
Four wounds, 6-man unit, 4-up save, I think there.
4-up save.
Yeah, 4-up save. He does have access to a 5-up ward as well, so he can hand that out.
Nice.
Yeah. So
he also can hand out strikes first from the Herald in combat, and it gives it to everything that is in combat with the Herald. So if he all piles it into something, everything that's fighting what the Herald's fighting can go first.
Yeah,
which is massive chain reactions.
Oh, absolutely. Between Ushran's strike last nonsense, the Herald's ability to hand out strike first, James could fight multiple times before you even get to normal activations.
The problem with it,
Herald's other part too. Go ahead, Eli.
I was gonna say the problem with all these abilities is that many of them are basically like, can you roll 3-ups? And if you can't roll 3-ups, then your army isn't doing anything.
Yeah.
We have a reinforced unit of Crypt Guard. This unit got a pretty nice little glow up. They used to bodyguard heroes wholly within 6. Now it's just within combat range. So you can get those Crypt Guard to actually give a 5-up ward to Ushran himself and themselves. And any of the other little heroes, the Cardinal or the Herald, are also going to get the 5-up ward if they're hanging out around these Crypt Guard.
Is it +1 to the ward or makes it a 5-up ward?
Should be a 5-up ward. It gives them and the hero a 5-up ward.
Well, it's relevant for Ushran because he already has a 5-up ward.
Yeah.
And I know it used to be just +1 because you could make him a 4-up ward. I didn't know if that part was still around.
Let me double check. I think it's just like Praetors where it's a 5-up. I think is how I read it. Crypt Guard, yeah, gives them a 5-up ward.
Okay.
So little heroes are going to get the 5-up ward.
Which is really nice given how few wounds that those guys are.
Yeah. Single wound models for the Crypt Guard and the Crypt Ghouls, but once again, we're bringing back additional models. They have a spell that's going to kill D3 models and return D3, the same amount of models to the unit, +1 from Lord of the Manor. Every time they do a rally, getting extra dudes back. So all of these dudes are going to be dying and standing back up. The Aberrant Cardinal is a priest, and he generates an additional double D every turn. So that's really good.
Yeah.
Their spell and prayer lore is also pretty good. I believe they have a -1 to wound spell, and a -1 to hit as well if they can get
Let's take a look.
Get it off high enough.
One spell does D3 mortals, then you return models to that unit, which James brings 2 models every time.
Mm-hmm.
You got +2 to move characteristic, +1 to wound rolls, and that's his unlimited spell.
Yeah.
And you've got roll 7 dice, and based on what you roll, you get an effect, depending on how many match. If 2 match, you inflict a damage. 3 match, you -1 to hit rolls and do a damage. If 4 match, then you get -1 to wound, -1 to hit, and a mortal damage on a specific unit.
Yeah.
That one's silly.
For prayers, Blessed Feast, basically every time they kill a model, they heal. You put on a enemy unit. Every time one of your dudes kills a model from that unit, they heal.
Mm-hmm.
If you get the big one, it's going to heal for D3, which is nice. Summer King's Favor is going to give you an additional noble deed whenever you fight for a hero. So that's really good. And Carnal Conviction is that 5-up ward that we were talking about. And
yeah, Summer King's Favor mostly works on Ushran because I don't know if he wants the Cardinal in combat.
Right.
Or the Herald, but Charnel Conviction is really good just to give multiple 5-ups.
Yeah. Well, hopefully with the Herald, he's going to be giving out strike first, get those extras. And ideally, yes, it is the feck.
Yeah, ideally, do some strike first shenanigans, some other strike last shenanigans, manipulate combat order, and be extremely resilient.
Yeah.
However, can't roll your 3-ups. Then the army is just going to sit there.
Yeah. Gotta roll your 3-ups. He did not bring Morbid. He brought the feck manifestation lore. Chalice is different. It hands out control score. Makes it easier to take control score, which is really nice.
Which I have to ask, because I know he's in chat now. James, you brought the feck manifestation lore. Do you have any of them other than Cup? Because I know you made Cup, but do you have the horses and the fence? I don't know if he does. But also, I think his only spellcaster is Usharan.
Yeah, he's a wizard too.
Yeah, but I think after Cup, like, I don't think he really cares about having any of the manifestations out.
Fence is really good.
I was just gonna say fence is good.
Is fence good? I didn't look at the new fence force roll. I knew what the other two did. But...
No run, no retreat, halves movement.
Sets up wholly within 18? Yeah.
Fence is good.
Fence is good.
But yeah,
yeah, because any move ability. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, fence is good.
So, like we kind of said earlier, Feck seems like a very kind of middle of the pack army right now, and I think this is a pretty cool way to play Feck. I like the idea of bringing my models back from the dead, and Morbeg Knights are cool, so I would want them to stick around, and with everything he's bringing, they should be sticking around.
It would be very fun to get a rematch with you, James.
Right.
I wonder if we'll match again.
Yeah.
I don't think I win that time, though. This time, though.
Right.
I'm not going to have warp lightning cannons go bird like I did last time.
All right. So
French fries again.
I like the Feck list. I know James is we joke about him being hard stuck 4-1, but he got his 5-0 recently. So does he go for another 5-0 or does he go for his standard 4-1? We'll find out.
Tune in.
The best thing is that they look amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Chairgrat. Let's go to the next abomination.
Abomination is right. Because it's fucking Nighthawk.
Well,
Mari Prez.
you'll notice a lot of unfun armies are death armies. I don't know if there's a correlation with that, but here we are.
I think it's not all the armies right now.
All right, so here we are. We're looking at Nighthaunt. Formation is Deathstalkers. Run in charge. Really good. Don't really need to go much into it. Patently untrue. Okay. We'll try to find a bad death army right now that's fun to play against.
Patently untrue. Well, you know who's saying that, right?
All right.
That's Dylan.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
Yeah.
It's Dylan. It's
straight
Dylan.
up propaganda. Yeah. No.
All right. So starting off with our General's Regiment, Lady Olander. She's pretty cool. They changed her abilities around a little bit. I don't know if I particularly like the way they changed her abilities, but they did. Specifically, they changed her gun into an actual gun, which makes it worse.
Well, don't fail your 2s and 2s, Joe.
Right? It's still D6 damage, but I liked it better when it was just a take.
It's Ren 3 D6 damage. It's still good.
Seriously, like, what else do you want? Jesus Christ.
It's crit auto wound, too.
It used to not be a gun. It was like, hey, take 2 to 6 mortal wounds.
Got from a shotgun to a pistol.
Mostly because I was running around and just blasting people. Just look at them. Ah. But she kept a really nice ability, which is adds, I believe it's a D3 Nighthawk back to every unit on the board.
D3 plus 3 combined health characteristic.
Yeah. So we do want more mortal wounds back.
Yeah, so it's 4 to 6 wounds of something on every unit.
Yeah. So that's some hex wraiths and a bunch of chain gas. No,
bunch of blade guys.
Blade guys on this list.
Yeah, bunch of blade guys. At least 2 hex wraiths. Or no, a hex wraith. 3 now.
Yeah, he's got 3 units of them.
One of them's even reinforced.
Yep.
Thank God they're objective control 1 now.
Yep.
I don't know who was smoking crack at Games Workshop that thought they should have been objective control 2 while beating 160 points, but
all right.
Yeah.
I'm just glad it's 1 before y'all go to your team's event next month in a week and a half.
Right. But so big thing with Nighthaunt is they like to charge. They have a bunch of abilities that let them charge. They get to
Dude,
charge while in combat. They get to
You
retreat and
didn't even
charge. They
talk
get to
about
run and
Lady
charge.
O's the best thing on her war scroll, her spell.
Okay, what's the spell do, Eli?
The spell makes a target not benefit from any positive modifiers blank until the start of your next turn.
Yeah, she does that.
No plus to hit, wound, save, nothing.
I mean, all of that is relatively weak compared to what we're about to talk about.
Sure.
So let's talk about what the army does. It has all that spooky. Cool. It's had that forever. But now they get to charge in every phase of the game, basically. And every time they charge, they do something. No longer do they have to roll big to get the good stuff. They just have to have the right stuff do the charge.
Yep.
So any Nighthawk unit
Nighthawk's
can,
still ethereal, guys.
yeah.
No, Joe, you're absolutely right. The army gets bonuses for charges and is basically never stopped from being able to charge.
Yes.
They can run and charge. They can retreat
combat.
and charge. They can charge while they're in combat. They can charge from any. They can.
And the recursion can be done while they're in combat. So if you don't kill something, he will be bringing them back.
Yes.
And he has blobs of bodies.
It
is fighting a giant army of flubber.
I'm waiting for the book to drop so they can charge in the shooting phase. But
I'm waiting for when they can shoot in combat, charge out, shoot you again, and then just keep rotating everything.
Oh, not to mention the fact that the whole army has great combat profiles, auto wounds on 6 as a base.
Yeah, blade guys, 3s and 3s, 2 attacks apiece, 3 attacks on the charge for like a nickel or dime worth of points.
Yeah, and let's not forget the entire army is fucking ethereal. So like, oh, you have that big red. Cool. I don't care.
So whenever a Nighthaunt unit charges, it can hand out a -1 to hit. It's really cool.
Is it?
All right. Yes.
It's not.
All right. Whenever a
Yeah, that's
cavalry
any unit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, any unit can hand out -1 to hit. Whenever a cavalry charges, it can hand out -1 to save. There's 3 units of cavalry in here. Is Reikenor cavalry?
I believe Reikenor is Cav, yeah.
Okay. So
let's not even get into the fact that Reikenor can ping you for +1 to casting or upping his unit level every hero phase for free. He can just do a mortal wound to his unit or an enemy unit and go, I'm +1 to casting. And he doesn't even have to cast. He can just go 1 mortal.
Yep.
Here you go.
And if a hero successfully charges, they hand out Strike Last.
Mm-hmm.
So -1 to hit, -1 to save, Strike Last. The whole army wants to be charging. So there's a reason why for the US Masters, Worlds, whatever we're calling it, every team has AoS Masters here in the US. Every team has a Nighthaunt player. I wonder why.
And every team also has a dirty elf player too. So,
well, the elves should stop being so dirty.
Right. So hex rates, they recently got nerfed, but they have pretty decent combat profiles, everything considered, once the debuffs start stacking up. Handing out -1 to save basically makes them red 2 damage to the charge. So hex rates are really good. They got their control score nerf that we all know, which makes them bearable. Kind of brings them in line to what they should be. They're probably just a little too efficient now, but I don't play the army or against it enough, so I'm not really going to comment on the balance of it. Like Tyler was saying, Reikenor is a wizard and a decent fighter. Nothing crazy, but nothing bad either.
Yeah.
He has little candles, all right? And every time he points a candle at someone, they take a mortal wound. Or he points the candle at himself, and it makes him a wizard 2, and he takes a mortal wound. So that's a pretty cool little trick he can do.
And ward, if I remember correctly.
I believe he can
I
ward
think
it.
that one has a limitation because they're not Slanesh.
Yeah.
The corpse handles?
Yeah, the corpse
The
candles.
corpse candles.
Yeah, add 1 to casting rolls, add 1 to unit's power level.
Yeah, but he doesn't. But he can ward the damage and still get the effect.
Oh,
if he does it himself.
Well, what Dylan, I think what Dylan's saying no, and I think that's because it allocates the wound. Like it does, like here, take the wound, and that's after all of the save ward bullshit nonsense.
Oh, yeah, it does say allocate 1 damage point to the target.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
That's
Is he
different
just
then.
does
Okay.
1 damage. You can't do anything about it. He just points at you and goes, "Fuck you, stub your toe."
Interesting.
So regular is pretty cool. Chain guests are just dudes with guns, 2 dudes with guns. We talked about hex rates. Cruciator got changed. What does he do now?
His spell's pretty cool. Ragnaros spell's pretty cool, too.
Ragnar's spell is pretty neat. He does D3 damage. If he kills a model, he does D3 more.
Yeah, that's pretty
Horde
dope.
eater.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Oh, Cruciator. Ignore the first point of damage allocated to Night Haunt units only within 12 each phase.
I hate that.
For every unit within 12 of the Cruciator, which is pretty cool. He also has a
way worse than
gun.
it used to be.
Unfortunately, but here we are. And then we have his artifact and his command trait. Spectral Host is call for aid, but worse. Has to come up wholly within 12 of the Cruciator and outside 9 of enemy units.
Okay.
And he has a once per game +1 melee attack for all Night Haunt units wholly within 12 artifacts. Which, if Blade Geist or really anything in the list gets a charge, and he pops that, that's a lot of stuff.
I don't want to see Blade Geist with 4 attacks a model. That's just stupid.
Right?
It's stupid now.
We've already talked
Especially
about
when
Blade
you-
Geist. 3 is
Especially when you lock them in combat, you go, "You can't get it," and they go, "Nope." And you go, "Fuck you."
Night Haunt is designed for us to have to catch that fade, and ain't nothing we can do about it.
Oh, I already got a haircut. I don't want another one.
So Blade Geist are really good. 31 attacks from a unit on the charge, 21 if they haven't charged. They're pointed very efficiently at 150 for the amount of damage they can do. Crit auto wounds, like there's a reason why this is one of the best armies in the game, and it's because it has some of the best rules in the game and crazy good profiles to back those up.
Yeah.
And we only have one Night Haunt player.
A single Night Haunt player is
The Lone Ranger is coming.
That's crazy. I'm surprised there's only one.
So am I. But I'm not.
Texas is a narrative meta. We're all narrative players. That's all we're doing. Telling stories.
But the funny part is that there are lots of Night Haunt players here, and they're not being narrative enough. They're not running Night Haunt. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get it either. But we had 7 Gits lists and 11 slaves lists.
Real narrative players. I understand.
Almost a
The rest
fourth
of
of the whole tournament is 2 armies.
The rest of us are gentlemen. Very nice.
Right.
Yes, I agree. Let you change my no, Dylan. No. You don't get to play Ghosts.
No. Yeah, so if you're playing into this, best of luck. Like, hope he doesn't roll a bunch of 4s. That'll suck. But yeah, that's kind of went over all the big talking points of Night Haunt. It's strong. Let's go on to the next list. All right.
TW, I think you forgot to count 1, 2, 4. That's not how counting goes.
All right, so last death list we're going to be talking about tonight is Matt Taylor's Saucy Nagash list. It is
I don't know if I call Nagash saucy at this point.
I mean,
it's not saucy. It's the most competitive you could do without taking as many models as possible.
Right. We do have 5 OBRs in a single list, but we know Texas OBR players. They're all basically the same person anyway.
Yeah, and they're all from Dallas.
Yep.
Oh no.
So let's talk
they all
about
dress the same too.
Cavalist Lance, pre-game 6-inch move for 3 units of cavalry. There are exactly 3 units of cavalry in the list. not bringing Morbid, which I think that might be a fun little unique change. I don't know if the other ones are bringing Morbid or not, but I think there's a reason why he's bringing the OBR spell lore, and we'll get to that later. Nagash, we kind of all know what Nagash does, but basically he casts 9 spells or he casts 6 spells. He can't miscast and stop casting. And he has a pretty cool unique spell to him, a unique unlimited spell. He basically gets to do D3 mortal wounds, or he can return three health worth of wound models to a unit. So basically, every turn he's going to put 1 Cavalos back into the unit. So that's cool. Cavaloses are pretty good, have impact mortals. They fight. They don't die very well. So they'll be around for a while, especially with Nagash putting a Death Rider back every hero phase into both units.
I might look at a different list because he has Morbid. You said no Morbid?
I thought he brought.
He has.
He brought the OBR Bone Reaper lore, but not the manifestations.
Oh, goddammit. Never mind, he brought Morbid. I thought he was cool
No.
and brought the OBR spell lore.
That's all, I'm like,
No.
why the hell would he not bring Morbid? So yeah, no, he did not. He brought Morbid.
He's the
Never mind.
coolest of cool.
To be fair, the OBR and the spells are really good and really useful, and Nagash is really good with them. So it's just like a personal choice, really. And he decided to be less cool. I don't know how you choose to be less cool, but he did.
Damn it! I should have picked Brian's list. We could have talked about the OBR and the spells.
Hey Joe, just edit the manifestation lore, and it's the same thing.
Right? Sorry about Taylor. Here is your unique lore. You're not playing Morbid now. But yeah, so Nagash is really good. Death Riders are good fighters. They take forever to die. He's going to be putting Death Riders back into them.
And God forbid you kill one of the Death Riders units because Nagash just brings a whole unit back.
Oh, that's not what he's bringing back.
No, he'll bring back the Harbingers if they die first. But
right.
If they die.
If they die, as Tyler knows, if they die.
Right. Leech Cavalos is a hero, but he also just gets to be a sub-commander for free in OBR. Neat. His artifact, -2 control score when you're within 12 inches of him, so it's good at taking your stuff away from you. And some real bullshit, this diversionary tactics. -2 inches from charges while within 12 inches. Fuck this rule. Matt Damon had it and I hated it. He has it and I hate it. Everyone that has it, I hate it.
It used to be so much worse.
Did you say Matt Damon as in like the actor?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jeff here, his demon prince is called Matt Damon.
No, he had half charges, Joe. It was a little bit better. Yeah, but the Leech Cavalos used to be way freaking worse than this. So I am totally happy with -2. That I can deal with.
Right.
The Leech Cavalos is also a sick-looking model.
Yeah.
So
on the wrong base, though.
On a weird ass fuck base.
Right. But he does have chain fight into the Death Riders. I don't know if that's a thing that'll pop up, but he has it, and he also has impact mortals.
You're not wrong,
Dylan. Oh my god! I remember I was playing against Rutherford's Liege Cavalos, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's on a 2-up ethereal, unrandable, and it heals every turn." That was some fun.
Yeah, you could do some real bullshit with the Liege Cavalos last book.
Right.
Good old Rutherford making the world go round.
Right. Morghast Harbingers are 6 wounds, 4-up save. They basically count as always being within 12 inches for the undead discipline abilities, whatever they're called.
Relentless discipline.
Yeah, relentless discipline. They always count as being within range for that. And they have a 3d6 charge. They do a shit ton of damage. Rend 2, anti-monster rend. But with drain vitality, they basically go to Rend 3. with Purple Sun, they go to Ren 4. Against monsters, they go to Ren 5.
Because reasons.
Pretty fun.
No.
Ren 5's just flat out unnecessary. Like Ren 4 will do the job just fine against most of your high armor things.
Hey man, when you come at
Ren 3 should be the ceiling.
I kind of feel, I was just gonna say, I kind of feel like Ren 3 is like, we're good.
Hey,
Right.
when you hit
Sure,
that monster
but again,
with
there
5
are-
up armor with Ren 5, you feel great.
Is that there are entire armies. Two of us here are running them that have just flat 3-up saves. And let me tell you, Ren 3 just ain't enough sometimes.
Right.
It's fine.
When you're with your whole ass 5 wound pop models, 3 wound multi model units, like sometimes you need more. Like I get pushing the button.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But the whole thing that kind of pulls it all together is their relentless disciplines. They have retreat and charge as an ability, plus 2 inches of movement.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they can get +1 to wound. Is the other one that's really good?
What are you talking about? The relentless discipline stuff?
Yeah. I
Okay.
believe one of them is +1 to wound. They get rend anti-charge is another one of their disciplines.
Yeah, the
And
combat stuff is +1 to wound.
And I think they have another charge phase relentless discipline, but I don't remember it off the top of my head.
They do, because they have 2 charge phase, 2 combat phase, 2 movement phase. The charge phase ones are +1 to charge, or +1 rend because of anti-charge. The combat ones are 5 up ward, +1 to wound, and the movement ones are retreat and charge and +2 to move characteristic.
Yeah. So all of those are fantastic abilities. You just be like, you know what? I need to break the core rules of the game right now.
Okay.
So all of that's circling back to Nagash. Once per game, he does his best Madara Uchiha impersonation, and he's like, I see you dealt with the first unit, but what about the second unit?
Yep.
And he just brings a unit back at full reinforcements.
The clouds part and the reinforced Morghast descend because you just killed the illusionary one.
Right. So he hits us with the Hobbit. Yeah. Morghast is good, but what about second Morghast?
Let's not forget about he can miscast, and he's like, oh well, I'll just keep casting.
Yeah, he just loses his +2 cast bonus.
Yeah. So guaranteed he will be casting 9 to 6 spells a turn. He's also really slappy in combat. He does like 3 damage and D6 damage.
Who, Nagash?
Like 8, it's like 8 attacks. Really high damage ceiling.
I mean, it's the god of fucking death, Joe. I mean, he deals in death.
Yeah.
But that should not be like, hitting the irons and getting huge.
Well, that's what he does. He's 4 attacks each, 2s and 3s, 2 Ren D6, and 2 Ren 3 damage.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I believe Dylan was gushing about how he won a round of Usharan with him in combat the other day.
He was saying he was mad that he did not get to Hand of Dust him because he beat him in combat.
Yeah. Oh, and Hand of Dust, at the end of the turn, he gets to do a neat little rampage where, flip a coin, pick a dice in a hand, high good, high bad, and the unit dies.
Yeah, exactly.
Deep and engaging gameplay.
Yeah, well, it can only go on a hero, and you have to be in combat range with them. So there are more ways around it than they're used to. Though, if I remember correctly, Matt Taylor likes to be aggressive with them and just say, go, you can't avoid me. Which, yeah.
5 up ward, 16 or 18 wounds?
Hero or monster, either.
It's monster too? Okay, I thought it was just hero.
18 wounds on a 3-up.
18 wounds, 3 up, 5 up ward. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but that kind of concludes everything we were talking about for the Death Armies. I didn't pick any of the Soul Blights because they all kind of copied each other's homework. Belladama, Wolves, or not Belladama, and a bunch of Blood Knights.
But Blood Knights are better than a lot of us thought they were on release, and Belladama and Wolves is just spicy fun. Like, Wolves War Scroll's just good. Bella makes them better.
Yep. There's one dude out there still pouring one out for our Tertigulus. getting his last double dip in.
Nah, fuck that guy. He needed to go.
No, it was fine. It was fine.
Get out of here.
All right, so I'm going to pass it over to Eli. Let him kind of lead the charge as we move into destruction.
The funnest of Grand Alliances. First list is Night Hunt is for suckers. I'm not gonna lie. This is I picked this list partially because of the title name. This is Kenneth's list of Trogs out of Houston, and he's basically just running Rock Guts and Squig Herd. Gloom Spike Gits are one of those very fun armies where just like all your shit looks fun and they're really fun armies to paint, and then you play them and you're like, why the fuck does this army exist? Because Trogs are basically unkillable and Squigs are super fast and also unkillable and also kill you. It's sometimes it's just
Insanity.
it's insanity. Thank you. So Gits have this thing called the Bad Moon, which is basically on a die roll, your moon, which is a little icon, moves from one corner of the board to the other corner of the board, and depending on what keywords you have, you benefit in different ways. Trogs get +1 to save. Squigs can run and charge, if I remember correctly. On top of that, Squigalange gives Squigs +1 attacks on the charge, which makes them have mini mucho attacks. So you have a lot of volume with them in addition to just being fast. The regiments themselves, you have Scragrot, who's still a great wizard. Bring anything. He projects the light of the Bad Moon. Wholly within 12 inches still, I believe. Trolls are lightweight. Roll gooder. I mean, yeah.
Basically.
He's got Gobblepalooza, which hands out buffs. What exactly what buffs? I don't remember. I'm going to look it up real quick. Gets not the Army of Renown. War Scrolls. Infantry, Gobblepalooza. There you go. See? It's super fast. You get one effect on a 3-up. You can either get +1 to rend charge, +1 to rend, or no commands for an enemy unit within 12 inches. It's pretty good. Just roll your 3-ups. Rock Guts are the bullshit. Rock Guts start with, I believe it's 2 attacks apiece. 4s, 2s, rend 2, 3 damage. There is no way to buff them in this way. So he's not doing Trog Herd. He's not doing Trog Boss stuff. So you're not going to get like the super oppressive offensive Rock Guts.
But you get the normally really oppressive Rock Guts.
You get the normally really oppressive Rock Guts because there's 3 units here of 6 Rock Guts. So there's 18 Rock Guts here, which means on average you're still dealing 12 attacks that are 4s and 2s, rend 2, 3 damage piece. It's still a lot of fucking damage. On top of the fact that they're 5 wounds apiece, they heal D3 at the start of every turn. Thank God they're not Trocker. They don't heal when they attack either. So they just slam in your face and hold objectives really well and hurt you really good.
Yeah, I mean their biggest downside is hit on 4s.
Yeah, the Plight of Destruction in general does not like -1 to hit.
Yep.
Hit them with the -1 to hit. A lot of times they're not hurting you that much. However, then you still have the problem of these fuckers are impossible to kill because they're typically +1 to save. Like he rolls that 1/4 up or has Scragrot move the moon into the middle. Congratulations, every Trog has +1 to save and maybe another +1 to save with all of defense. You need and they have a 5 aboard. Let's not forget that.
Yep.
They are resilient as all hell.
Yeah,
Then,
they're rend 2 flat 3, right? For damage.
Yeah, rend 2 flat 3. Like they do a lot. Oh, and they shoot. They have they throw a boulder. At least it's not mortals anymore.
The boulder.
But regardless, you have 18 Rock Guts that what they do is they move slowly onto objectives, and then they make it really hard for you to take the objectives from them because they will either kill you or be impossible to kill or both. And if he's not doing that, you have to deal with the Squig half of the list that is likely running and charging with a bucket of attacks, even though they're beast, so they don't take objectives well, it doesn't matter because their job is to slam into your face, hit you with like 3, 4, 5 attacks a model at 4s and 3s, rend 1 damage, and just suppress you with volume.
Correct, Brian. The only time that level of rend is acceptable is when it's going into Trogs.
You know what? I will agree. That's fair. Put OBR, put more gas into trucks.
No save, just a 504.
Yeah. And then the squig boss is really nice because with the enhancements, it hurts you to go into him if you're not rolling well, and it makes him a wizard, which is nice because typically you're putting out either the -1 hit bubble or a manifestation in this case because morbid makes them really good.
Yep.
Put the volume of attacks that Squig have with Purple Sun. You got a bunch of run 2 attacks. So much of that damage is going through. Oh, and if you manage to kill any of these units for a command point, he can bring it back at half strength. Gits are really good, guys. I had to look up what exactly the buff on the Nash Squig was. I knew it was on a 2-up, but I couldn't remember. Plus 3 inches to move characteristic on a Squig, or that's right, crit mortal on Squigs. So you could have a unit of 24 Squigs with 4 attacks a model, hitting on 4s with crit mortal. I don't know if you know what like 4 times 24 is, but it's a lot. Or 4 times 20. Because 2 of them are crit mortal, guys.
Are we roboting?
Are we roboting? No.
I watched a lot of Doctor Who.
I'm sorry.
No, Doctor Who was cool.
Doctor Who is cool.
No.
Hey, we could go back to watching the Extraordinary we were watching last night. That was fun.
That was pretty funny.
Alright.
We still roboing?
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. It's a sad day. I cut out 3 pieces of crit talk, then realized I do not have any super glue.
Oh, that sucks. I tried to paint for a little bit, but I was not.
Timmy, can you hear me?
Why does Discord do this? Oh, we good? Okay, I think it sounds like we're good. Sugar said we're good.
A little bit better. Chaos God's sending me a message.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So mostly the thing I get mad about the 8 attacks, the crit mortal, is that it's what I want to do with clan rats, but it's better.
Well, yeah.
Though I'm gonna start doing it soon, so y'all better watch out.
Okay.
Mostly because I'm bringing Visic, because he's fun.
Physic is cool.
Visic is very fun.
It's such a cool model.
I wish I had my cool models.
Companion.
Well, I'm not crying about Skaven. I'm lamenting at how at Gits. The Skaven book is good. It's not nuts, but it's better than people give it credit for. There's a few really silly things in that book, though. I'm not bringing that kind of stuff.
Let's not talk about a book. Can we
rattling guns.
GW release my stuff, please?
Wait until he eventually boils it down to its core. Look, I'm not going to be the guy that runs like 18 rattling guns.
Yeah, you are.
No, I have 0 at the moment.
Until one day that all changed.
I agree with Brian, though. That looks like a fun list.
3 reinforced weapon teams, 120 rats. Like it'll win games.
Good.
So back to this list that we've been de-roboted. So
Now that we've been de-roboted,
yeah, it's 175 wounds. Am I looking at that right?
Yeah, you are.
Oh man,
Like squigs are back to 1 wound now, I think.
Squigs are spicy.
Or are they still 2 wound? Yeah, they're 1 health piece, but they still bring models back.
Yeah,
because they can bring on a 2-up, you can bring a D3, and for each 1 you kill a squig herder, and each of the reinforced blocks has 4, so you still bring back 4 D3 every turn. But they just don't do mortals in battle shock anymore. They do mortals when they die. On a 5-up, they do mortal back in combat range.
Torticulus was the problem.
Torgilius was a problem in Soul Blight. That does not make these not a problem either, Joe.
Things cannot be true, Eli. Only one.
Non-mutually exclusive things. Basically,
Right.
yeah. So you have a really fast. The list boils down to having a bunch of good anvils and a bunch of good hammers, and not much you can do about either.
Right.
Kids are really, really solid.
And Scragrot's good wizard.
Scragrot's a good wizard. He's a cool model. Kenneth is a cool dude. They'll fuck your army, man. I gotta say it.
We'll see. We'll see.
Killed 7 Death Riders in one swing. Yeah, I fucking believe it, man. 80 attacks with crit mortal, and when you kill them, they just do mortals back to you. And then they regen while they're in combat. Like
I still can't move. I still can't believe Strigrot is 220 points. Like, what the f?
Yeah.
Man.
He's
Crazy.
also like the least important thing.
Yeah,
Right.
and this was true.
Yeah, in this listen specific, his job is to make sure the moon is in the middle when his army's in the center of the board.
Mhm.
After that, he does not care.
Yep.
And get endless spells out because they're useful. But like if Skragrod dies top of 1, like he's fine.
Morbid, as we do.
Yeah, I was just looking. I was like, and what endless spells is he taking?
You take Morbid in this list because the Purple Sun is just insanely good with the squigs to make them Rend 2.
Yeah, that makes sense.
With how many attacks they have on the charge, and then everything else is just bonus. Like that's really what it is. It's the same reason that I would bring Morbid in my Clan Rat heavy list. It's just a bucket of like Rend 1, Rend 2 attack of extra Rend attacks is really good.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
All right, let's see that next list.
The next list. Now, here's the deal. I was with the Iron Jaws, I was between 2 people. It was between Swope and between Marco. I ended up going with Marco because Marco brought something that was spicy to me. I don't know how good it is, but he brought Granok.
Well,
For everything else on this list, it's an Iron Jaws army with the Gargant.
yeah, I figure you're not gonna like review the Gargant list. Like, get the Gargant in there. I like it.
I put a Gargant in there.
Yeah, that works.
Right.
The Iron Jaws, which got a change today with their WOG, which is really neat. Really good change that I like. Every hero being able to WOG once per game.
That's pretty cool.
The Iron Jaws don't do as much of the movement shenanigans and move and alpha and hit you hard like they used to, but they still do some movement shenanigans with having basically a 3-inch move every hero phase for one of their units that they can move into combat with. And they anvil really well if you have Ard Boys. They can hammer with the big pigs, but the regular pig kind of suck. And then Gordrak is really good on the WOG. And they do a lot of combat shenanigans stuff with volume of attacks. This list in particular that Marco's running, if he gets an 8-inch or higher charge for anything that's not a hero, that unit gets a +1 attack. So this is the attack stacking buffs that I'm talking about. I just noticed he also brought Kronspine. I love it. This is great. War Chant is a priest now. Violent Fury is one of the prayers. I don't know what any of the prayers are. I don't care. Violent Fury all day. But he's the general. He's got Eye for an Eye, so any redeploys that are wholly within 12 have at least a 4-inch charge, which is great when your army's slow. Because outside the pigs, the army is slow. 4-inch moves all day. And then he's got Reinforced Unit Brutes. I think Reinforced. No, definitely not Reinforced. That's only 200 points.
I really wish they would put the amount of unit, like the number of models in a unit.
It would be nice. You think that people would want to know that.
Yeah, it's silly.
But apparently not. Brutes. Yeah, 200 points for 5. Okay. So he's got just a regular unit of Brutes. That's cool. Given that he only put the 5-man with the War Chanter in the General's Regiment, I think his plan is to do Honor Guard, do Bodyguard with that all day. Let those guys hang out, win in that active attack number game. Second Regiment, he's got another War Chanter with Trophy Skull, so he gets +10 on his control score, making him a control score of 12, which is dope. Another unit of 5 Brutes, and a big pig Then the second regiment, a Weird Knob Shaman, to cast that beautiful incarnate. A reinforced unit of Ard Boys, and then 5 Brutes. Ard Boys are the sauce. They're going to move up a bunch. They get anti-charge. They can. They have a bucket of attacks. They have a 3-up save. They're 2 wounds apiece. They do a lot of stuff, and then they just take buffs really well. They hold the wall well, and then he's got Gargan. I like what this is doing. This is very much a Marco style list with a bunch of like MSU orc units that are going to be moving around on the board and charging and getting a bunch of combat buffs.
What's the spell lord do for them? I'm sure they have Hand of Gork, I'm sure.
They do have a Hand of Gork still, because they kept it not Cruel Boys. They have you have to have a unit that's not in combat, and they go wholly within 24 inches of the caster and more than 9 inches away from the unit. So it's kind of a bring back thing with a really wide bubble. They also have Basham Lads to give them exploding 6s. And that's their unlimited spell, which isn't relevant because he only has the 1 wizard. And then they have Mighty Headbutt, which does D3 mortal damage. Unless it's a wizard, then it's just 3 damage. The most important thing is obviously Hand of Work.
But they cast Fist.
And then exploding 6s. But most of the time, you'll probably, at least on the opponent's turn, just be like, nah. Kronspine. See if Kronspine comes out. Kronspine's out? Cool. I've got 2 giant pinning pieces that are going to go in, hopefully hold something while the rest of my army moves up into position.
I was talking with some people, and Kronspine got better, I think, by virtue of not getting worse.
It's casting Headbutt. I mean, sure, 18 inches is pretty good for Headbutt. Just do some damage at range. It's pretty nice.
Right.
Look, catch up on the chat, see if there's anything I missed. Yeah, Swope in the chat talking about how if you stack buffs right with the right units, you can get like a minimum size unit of brutes, so like, or you can get a reinforced unit brutes like 70 attacks, and it's hilarious.
Yeah,
but yeah,
so nuts.
Iron Jaws are pretty honest. There's not that much to say. Like he's got 1, potentially 2 units that are going to go in and pin, because the rest of his army is going to move up, and he's going to try to just win in the combat phase while holding on to the objectives. He's generally going to have more attacks going on than his opponents, or at least more valuable attacks going on than his opponents. He's obviously not going to win the volume game against like a Squig Herd or Clan Rats or something like that, but he will get a lot of damage out of it. And then the unit of Ard Boys soak charges really well. They can they do the countercharging stuff really well because their unit for the shield bash does not care if they charged or if they were charged. They can wait to charge into a unit that charged that turn and then do their mortals on them in combat, which is really neat. I've had that happen to me before, where I charged a unit that I had stuck in combat, and then he was like, all right, I'm going to make this nice charge. Boom. And then we're going to hit you with all these mortals. And I was like, yeah, I'm really lucky I made my wards. Otherwise, I would have lost my furnace that turn. So there's some neat anti-charge tech, charging in tech, doing that kind of stuff. What does Grunnick even give you this time around?
It's just
any different than it used to be?
35 wounds.
35 wounds that can kill tons of chaff and massive infantry blocks.
That's pretty good. He does not have a lot of horde clear, so that is actually a really useful tool. Yeah, mortal damage. The target's infantry double the mortal damage and -1 to hit rolls.
It's a kind of thing in response to Night Hunt and like big horde armies.
Yeah, it does. And he's very much an infantry killer too, which is cool. Yeah, but that's kind of just Iron Jaws.
I like it.
The Gargan is a Gargan. That is all. You're right. And that's why I didn't talk about him much beyond what he brings as Grunnick, because...
Yeah, it's 35 wounds. Big dude.
Because here's the deal. Here's why we're not reviewing Gargan. If y'all want to know, chat, what my opinions are on Gargans, and you haven't been here before, just go to any of the past list review videos that we've got on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/TheWeirdCast, and you'll see exactly how I feel about Gargans. Like, here's the deal. we may be in a new edition, but the army hasn't changed, and neither have my feelings for it. It's fucking Gargants.
I know they did.
I like the buffed broad stomp. They now found a way to reload terrain.
I'm sorry, did you say you like it, Joe? Are you
Look,
insane?
I played Space Marines 2. I saw what that dude did to a Helldrake, and I now find Broad Stomp to be an acceptable addition to the game. That's it. That's it.
All it took was him playing a 40K game to go, Gargant not that bad.
Yeah, Gargant's all right. Also, I bring long strikes, and I get to laugh at every Gargant player.
Until they get in your long strikes and you cry.
I'm sorry, I blacked out. What happened?
We said Gargant's good.
Oh, god damn it.
Right.
And Eli passes out mid-stream. Tune in next time, children.
Right. All right, let's get that next list.
All right, the last list we got for destruction is an Ogre Maw Tribes list. I believe this is being run by Chris Cole. I picked this list, one, because it's the only Ogre list, but two, it was still more interesting than Gargant's because he's doing full gut busters, but he's got a bunch of heroes. He's got Prophets of the Gulping God to get +1 to cast for his Ogre Wizards, and he's bringing 1, 2, 3 wizards. He's got a Butcher with a reinforced unit of Iron Guts and Gluttons. He's got another Butcher with a normal size unit of Iron Guts and normal size unit of Gluttons, and then a Slaughtermaster with more Gluttons, and then a Hunter with a Bloodpelt Hunter with gruesome trophies, so he gets +1 to heroes and monsters in melee units wholly within 12 inches of him get +1 to hit against heroes and monsters. It's just melee only. Used to be against shooting, but then the index happened and neutered that. And he's also a priest, which is neat. No Irish warlord not running ogres.
He's doing cities.
He is doing cities. Oh shoot! I accidentally got rid of the Twitch chat while I was running. There we go. I was like, don't even need to read it. Gluttons. Yes, but it's not like an obscene amount of Gluttons. This dude's mixing up some Iron Guts, so it's gonna look. It looks really neat. He's not bringing like the most meta ogre list, which is just how many wounds of Gluttons can I fit on the board.
He brought 4 heroes, so
he brought 4 heroes. He wants to cast with his ogre magic.
Right.
It's weird how ogres is like a primo cast army now.
Yeah, right.
It can be. It's just strange to me. Like
I've never thought of them as a casting army, but like
never know.
When you get a sub faction that gives you +1 to cast and your spells just aren't bad, like you get +1 to attack airstrike, -1 to hit, and heal D3.
Yeah.
And +1 to your control score. Like those are all fantastic spells.
Yep.
And then the Bloodpelt Hunter is a priest because he's got touched by the Everwinter. So, oh, how dare you, app? I was just about to read, and I can't read anymore. Now I can read again. So, the first that you can do is the Blizzard token thing that doesn't do anything because he's not Beast Blood. Then, or you can do Run and Charge to Mournfang Pack or monsters. Hey, look, that doesn't matter here. And the only prayer in the prayer lore that this priest can actually chant that is relevant, inflict mortal damage for a D3. Do D3 mortal wounds to something, basically. That's it. The other two, he does not have the units to actually benefit from. But
I certainly do not like the idea of having to pay to read the rules.
Well, neither do I.
I don't think anybody does, man.
Right.
Anarchy.
Just saying. I'm very glad to hear that Wahapedia guy is getting out of the hospital.
Yes. Also, Ever Salty, I also like the list. Like it's a fun gutbuster list without being like the really strong like meta version of gutbusters.
Yeah.
It honestly looks really fun. Like they're still doing what they want to do, which is running a bunch of fat boys, moving up the board, charging you, getting into combat. They don't do as many mortals as they used to do, but they make up for it by having really good attack profiles. Relative to destruction, it's still hitting on 4s. If you put any -1 to hit on the army does no damage. But Gluttons still do. They do what, like 2 damage per attack. Iron Guts do 3 damage per attack. If you don't kill them and you don't have any way to debuff them, they are going to hurt you. They are going to munch on you.
Just give it -1 to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just lament when they just roll a whole bunch of 5s.
Yeah. That's what I plan on doing with my Screaming Bell. Yeah.
Right.
I'm very ready to give out -1 hit and then just watch them make all their attacks anyway.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they roll like 60 dice, and you go, 5 dice. Their averages is pretty normal there.
Yeah, the Bloodpit Hunter itself is pretty neat because he does a lot of damage into monsters still. Does his damage characteristic for his crossbow becomes 3, and his giant spear becomes 6, and they already has anti-monster on it, so it's a 2-rend 6 damage attack, which is cool. And then he's also anti-monster in combat.
Right. I don't want to talk about Baron Guard. I had a 1-hour-long stream game last Friday.
Baron Guard are a pain.
Right.
I'll just give him -1 hit. Yeah, that thing I can do. That thing that got taken away from. Yeah, I'm sorry. I also feel that. But
alternatively, Swope, you could go back to Slanesh and give them fun dice and watch them roll 1s and 2s.
Honestly, I think that change is pretty hilarious.
It is. That's
That's
what needed to happen for Slanesh.
It is a very good change for that battle trait.
I don't like it. They're taking away my battle traits. It's like, what the hell? It's like I don't need this nerf. Like, what the hell? Not cool.
But anyway,
maybe
that's
Dimitri will finally give me that second dice.
Yeah.
He might give you the second dice. But yeah, that's destruction. A bunch of armies that hit on 4s and wound on 2s. Don't like getting debuffed to hit, but just want to get into combat with you. And then Gargants.
Right. All right. So I think with that, Eli, we're done with destruction for now.
We in fact are. We move on to Jeff, who was in charge of chaos and picked 3 lists.
Yeah. Speaking of nerfing my battle traits, so we're gonna start with Slanesh. There were 2. It was Dimitri and I forget whose this was, but I went with this one because that's right. This is awesome. I went with this one because it had Sinessa, and I haven't seen Sinessa. So. Thought that was cool. He's going 2 drops with Seeker Cavalcade, so they get retreat and charge on their stuffs, and they don't take mortals when they retreat. He's got Sinessa. I was looking at her. She seems pretty decent, actually.
Sinessa's cool.
I like her.
She's a 1-cast wizard who's a 2-cast wizard as Dexesses on the field. But
Yeah.
I don't think
He doesn't have Dexessa now.
he doesn't have Dexessa, so she's not at her full potential. But looks like he's replacing Dexessa with a keeper and going with a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. So attack profile not bad. I mean, 5 attacks, 3s and 3s, 2 2 damage. Shooting combat with the staff, range 18, 3s and 3s, 1d3 damage. Not bad. Let's see.
The big thing.
Yeah, pick an enemy that charged. Yeah, roll dice on a 3-up, subtract 1 for moon rolls, which hosing people's moon rolls, always a good thing. And then end of the turn, pick a visible enemy within 18 to be the target. If the friendly unit, add 5 to target's control score. An enemy unit, subtract 5 from their control score. So that's pretty cool. You get some control over objectives.
Yes.
And then the war scroll spell is visible enemy unit within 18. I don't want to hit wound rolls for combat attacks that target that enemy unit for the rest of the turn, which is basically the red button. Click on that thing and it should die.
Yep.
Blitzbarb archers doing what they do, shooting down range, doing that covering fire. We got the Twin Souls, which I don't remember what these guys do.
Twin Souls are basically a giant wall bodyguard. They like being charged.
Yeah, so they're 2 health each, 4-up save, 4 attacks, 3s and 4s. If they don't. Oh, okay, yeah, that's what their thing was. If they don't charge, it's -1 attacks if they get hit.
Which pairs really well. Which pairs with the bodyguard ability supremely well.
Yeah, that's
also
really
pairs with their ward as well.
Yeah.
Super durable.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
get a 5 aboard.
Yep.
If they didn't get charged. So if Austin's not picking priority target for the Blitzbarb archers, he is bodyguarding with the Twin Souls to keep Sinessa alive.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
-2 attacks is a hell of a drug.
-2 attacks and a 5 aboard is a hell of a drug.
Pretty good. Then he's got the Keeper with strongest alone. So if there's no other Slanesh units within 6, he gets +1 hit and wound. With the artifact is the Pendant, which will give them a heal free if they didn't take any damage. Or if they took damage. So if you were hurt, yeah, you heal up. A block of
3, which is nice.
Yeah, that is pretty sweet. End a turn too, which is nice because you can end a turn heal and then go ahead and heal back up in the hero phase again. If you do rally, which is pretty sweet. And then we got reinforced block of Demonettes, unit of Seekers, and a reinforced block of Sickblade Seekers. And help me out with these because I don't know.
So it's all demons. That's the thing, because Keeper, big demon boy.
Yeah.
The Demonettes are just a big infantry volume attack. They got 2 attacks apiece. They're 10 models at base, so 40 attacks. They get +1 to their attacks characteristic if they charge, so they can become a 60 attack unit on the charge. So it's just a bunch of volume, 3 4s, Ren 1 damage. The regular Seekers are anti-cav, and they minimum run 4 inches, which is dope.
That's not very far though.
Yeah, and they have a bunch of attacks. So and they move 12 inches. They're 3 health apiece with a 5 up save. They have a 6 aboard because they're demons. So they're a very fast unit that can go in. They're anti-cavalry, which is not that common, and there's a lot of cavalry that just are going to be naturally at the event.
Hi.
Then the Switchblade Slickers.
Yeah, they're the ones that do reroll charges and they get extra damage in the charge.
Yes, they are much more of the hammer. That's why they're the ones that are reinforced, not the regular Seekers, and they're 4 health apiece. So they are tanky.
Ooh.
I think they're the mortal. They're actually mortal guys, though. Yeah, these are actually mortal guys. But I forgot the Slick Blades are mortals. But yeah, reroll charge and charge +1 damage is just really solid. They have 3 attacks apiece with +1 damage too, so 31 attacks. 3 4s, Ren 1, or Ren 1 2 damage on the charge is pretty good.
Yeah, and they're fast too. They're 12-inch movement, so they're going to be. Yeah. They shall be trucking around the field for sure. And then, isn't the Fane good now? Actually,
that sort of. You don't have to sacrifice your artifact to get a buff, but you have to take damage that you can't ward, which is kind of annoying. What the Fane does is that in your hero phase, you can pick a friendly unit that is wholly within 12 inches. Give them D3 damage that they can't ward because you're just allocating. Then you get one of the effects to choose. You can either get +1 to wound, +1 to run, or +1 to casting and unbinding. And all of those last until the start of your next turn. Depending on which one you pick. You only get to pick one. But that's it.
So it's more than pretty looking. It actually does a thing.
That's true. It actually does do something.
It does,
which is better than what it used to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, Fane is better, but it's the same. You're not sacrificing your artifact to make it a permanent effect for the game for your hero that you don't really care that much for.
Yeah.
But you really only did that because your artifact was shit anyway.
Yeah, that was the funniest thing ever. I'm gonna
it was
a wall.
Now you fight it and it only has 10 health on a 4-up save with a 6-up ward. And the main thing, their battle trait that is shit for this weekend until you're not playing this event, and then it's better. You can give up to 3 tokens, basically 3 free 6s on a die that can be used for ward, save, hit, and charge rolls. But charge you need 2.
Yep.
And then they just automatically are 6s, so it's an automatic 12-inch charge if they give you 2 dice. And the Slanesh player rolls to see if they do damage to you. That's it.
Yeah, it's a nice buff. I like having guaranteed saves and guaranteed charges. Especially guaranteed counter charges, pretty much.
Yes. The
If
new
they'll ever
trait,
give you that fucking dice.
you're likely only going to get one die because that. I didn't mention the reason why they do it is because they for each die that they give their opponent, they get to pick one of their units to get crit exploding sixes.
Yeah.
And then they have a spell that can make that that can take that unit that has crit exploding sixes to crit mortal wounds, which is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I know when I played Dimitri, he just gave me 3 dice every time. He's like, fuck it.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Not for Joe. Joe got blue balls for the entire game.
Yep. I begged the man. I was like, please.
He wanted 2 dice the whole game, and Dimitri refused. It was fantastic. And now, after this weekend, it's going to be better because now that they have a chance to not only do damage to you, but also reduce the 6 down to either the 1 or the 2, which is really cool.
Yeah.
That kind of gamble is actually really nice. Makes that ability much more useful, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
So I'll put it very nicely. For each die you give your opponent, you revert 1 unit to the 3rd edition book.
All right. All right. I think that's everything we have for Slanesh. So we're moving on to the next Chaos book.
Zinch!
Yes, God.
Tyler, you know this list.
I know this list. Who's this list? What are we talking about?
This Duff's
All right.
list.
I thought we were doing a 2-minute ad.
Yeah, before we do that, we're gonna do a quick ad break. So we'll be back.
Watch out, Zach, you're going to get another 9 ads.
Yep. We'll be back.
So we're only getting 4.5.
Yeah. So 2-minute ad will be.
Let us know if you get the erectile dysfunction ad. That's the
It's
algorithm.
called Blue Chew, Joe. Blue Chew. It's the name of the stuff. Blue Chew. Thank you for watching our Blue Chew ad. Everything is okay.
Come on.
It
Who
looks
gets
like
it?
only 5 ads this time. Use your Prime subs from your job. 7 for you. Oh, geez. I only got 5. Couldn't be me.
For a
We
Baywatch?
gotta run ads. We get like the infinitesimally small amount of money from them. Let me look at what Duff's got in this list. Oh man, he's a champion. He's got ether rot machineries.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's about exactly what I'd expect. No Skyfires though. That's interesting. Just
Yep.
more bodies.
I know why too, and I'll share it to you after this quick ad break.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever. I honestly don't think I've ever played. I played Zinch, I think once when I played Tabby, and that was years ago. And I haven't played.
It's been a minute.
I have not played Zinch. And I think that was the only game of Zinch I ever played. I've never ever played Zinch.
I played
I'm
against John
surprised he's not
last
bringing a
week.
change. Like,
I mean, yeah, Changeling's okay.
what? Oh god, no! The Changeling is fucking horrendous.
Changeling is amazing.
Legitimately a menace.
Against society.
The Changeling. I always love how it's the Changeling. Yeah.
Is there just a
The
Changeling?
Curseling is really good too.
There's not just a Changeling, it's the Changeling.
I don't know. There should be.
But he's not unique. Oh, he is unique. That's dope.
Yes.
I thought he wasn't.
Welcome
You're
back
back.
from our short commercial break.
All right.
Hope you
Yeah.
learned something educational.
It doesn't
Yeah.
need to be unique. You only
Yeah.
need one Changeling.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah, Tyler, you know this, so I'll let you take this.
Oh yay! I get to talk about it. Okay. So this list is run by one of my favorite people in all of existence. His name is Brendan Duff. He is my best friend. Shout out to Duff, who's watching me as I do this, and he's texting me right now. So short answer to your all's question, the reason there are no beastmen in this list is he hates building them. They suck. Tenzagors are the worst models ever, and they suck nuts. They suck to build. They are beautiful to play, but they suck all else around. And I have built them, so I know what I'm talking about.
Massive
As far as
respect.
Skyfires go, same thing. They suck to build. They suck to paint. They suck to put together. They are amazing models, and I fucking lived them and loved them in Beast of Chaos. But they are fucking trashy, and the only thing worse than those motherfuckers are Blitzbob Archers. And Blitzbob Archers are pieces of shit. Whoever invented those screws should burn in hell. That is a simple, plain, and clear fact. If you'd like to come to my TED Talk on this, if you'd like to come to my TED Talk on this, it's very short. It sucks. Okay. Other than that, his list, he's been playing with this list a lot, and it is his new love, and he's probably going to change from the Ever Chosen to something of Zinch. We haven't come up with a name yet. It'll probably be referring to something blue, something round and spherical. But he's been tweaking this list a lot. He's been putting his heart and soul into it. And I'm very proud of him because he really is going to try to play 5 rounds. So whoever plays him in the GT, all 5 rounds, you're going to get to play 5 rounds against Zinch. I don't think it's ever been done before, so this is history in the making. Of course, he's going with the burning because it's just good. Like it's really a debuff that the constant damage. It does go out on a 1, but his whole army gets a benefit from things being burned. And he's going to try to set you on fire as much as he can. He's a pyromaniac.
Best part about the weird flag, just don't roll the damage.
Yeah, you if you just want the debuff off, you don't have to roll the damage, which is honestly -1 to blue rolls.
Yeah.
And then the rest of his army, it's literally just dumb. It is there to sit in front of you as you get debuffed all the hell. He nukes your shit, and you go, those chosen were really nice. And now they're paper thin and they're dead. And I killed like 3 pink horrors and I have like 60 blues. And I don't know what I did with my life because this went on a quick dark turn in this battle. But he's worked really hard. And the whole point of the list is he gums up everything, chooses what to debuff, and slowly kills off your hammers to where you basically are just gnawing at teeth like grandma with her teeth coming out at Thanksgiving trying to eat that pie.
From my experience of what horrors do, yeah, that sounds right.
Yep.
Pink horrors don't split anymore, but they're still fucking oppressive.
Well, the thing is, so they can add split within blues, and pink add blues, blues add brims. But the thing is, with the way that rallying works, is you can rally. So if your blue split into brims, you can rally the blues back to full strength while keeping your brims.
Yep.
And then the same thing with the pinks. You can rally the pinks up if everything else is like full thing, which means they're a lot more annoying than they were in 3rd edition. You got to chew through so much ass that even people who like big booties and eating are going to get tired. And this is death by smothering, and it's not the good kind of death by smothering that most men want to die. It is the horrible, slow, painful death. So well, and I'm very proud of him. I don't know if I can make it clear, but this is literally death by snoo, but they're just slowly suffocating you with a pillow.
And I think the thing that's worse about them is that they have a stronger starting board than they did before. Because you have pink horrors and blue horrors on the board. 400 points, and that's 30 models in a space where normally they're used to just having 10 for a similar cost.
And then Aetherworks is just, let me get you in this. So he has big chickens that are -1 to hit because of Aetherworks, which means your little shiny shooters are a struggle. And then he has the pendulum, which he'll just throw up in the middle of the board and walk into combat and go, oh, you wanted to charge? That's really cute. It's really cute. Here's some mortals. And then he has swords to eat out anything that has a ward that is like, you know what? I should survive this. And he goes, no. It is a beautifully done list, and he's worked very hard.
It also, the Lord Change also gives a -1 hit buff too, right?
I think so.
So you have 2 -1 hit buffs?
Yeah, it's dumb. It's a whole bunch of dumb. And
it's a very strong castle.
And Zinch can teleport out of combat.
Yes,
so
they can.
Just when you think You got Zinch by the chicken throat, and you're gonna cook this goose. He gives you the double middle finger Flappy Birds and moves.
That spell lore is stupid. I played against it on Wednesday, and I fucking hate it. Spending a command point to cast Fold Reality just sucks.
I forgot, I left this out. Brandon just texted me. He said to remind everybody that he can bring back pinks and blues for Destiny Dice. So if you really think you really got out of that pillow and you're not dying by smothering, he just brings another pillow.
Yeah, they can spend any Destiny Dice to bring a unit back at half strength, or is it full strength?
Yeah, half strength.
Half strength.
Wow, that's crazy.
Any of the demon stuff, yeah.
And if you guys haven't seen it, his army looks immaculate. He's done a lot of hard work on it. His basing is phenomenal. I am a proud Papa Bear, and I'm not afraid to say it. I am super proud of him.
I'm very, very excited.
You gotta check it out.
He has
it's
the chaos
beautiful.
spawn, so he can target you with transform to spawn, put a spawn there, and pin your arm.
And his spawn looks amazing.
And then he has Bolt of Zinch, which has Word Flame, and it's unlimited, so you can just blast you.
And then flamers.
Giant pain in your ass.
Flamers are just big
2 units of flamer.
They're shooting it. Okay.
They're a shooting unit.
Tyler, have you convinced him to bring the change?
Then flamers are a shooting unit that have Word Flame, which is the most important thing about them in the anti-infantry +1 to wound rolls if they shoot against a burning unit because he make you debuffed, get buffed against you.
Yeah.
The big thing about Zinch is that they fuck with battle tactics so goddamn hard.
Yeah.
Not only because Kairos lets you repeat a battle tactic once per game or reattempt one. It's basically the entire spoiler and everything they do says, oh, guess what? No, you're not.
And Nexus of Fate replaces a Destiny Dice every turn, too.
There's also that.
In your Pharaoh phase, which is nuts.
Yeah. The Nexus of Fate is really solid. You just roll and you replace any Destiny Dice you choose with that roll. And then +1 to cast and banishing rolls on that tome on the lore change is really good. But it's really, it can be really frustrating to be like, yeah, I'm going to attack on 2 fronts. And then they'll be like, no, full reality. You can't get to that objective now. You're like, oh, that's great. I'm going to take the flanks. No, you're not, because I'm just going to park you right here.
Yeah, it's very
cool.
adorable. And that is his favorite thing to do. He likes to go, oh, you're doing this? I'm just going to teleport here and sit.
Yeah.
I love him. I hate him so much.
Zinch is strong. It's not an easy army to play, which is why I know he's been getting a lot of reps to really get it down, which is really cool. So I'm very excited to see.
We have 2 phenomenal Zinch players who have been putting in the fucking time together to get this shit done, and they are terrifying.
Well, it helps that you have the School of Rutherford.
Dude, Ryan is in a school of his own. He's officially he's a god. Just leave it. He's a man, he's a myth, a legend. He's called Hercules.
We
love him to death.
All right, well, that's a lot of Zinch talk we had. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Jeff should be pretty happy with this army. This got
basically
across the board.
This army's so good. It's so good.
It is, and I gave Peyton a lot of shit. So I was between this one and Ryan's list, and Ryan just is running Bloodletters, which is amazing and really good. But this had some more funness to it. So I went with Peyton, and I gave Peyton a lot of shit about. So Peyton, I'm sorry. Like the army's fine. I'm on record, but yeah. So he's wearing Hornate Legion basically. So demons fight. They chain fight basically if they're both within 12, which is pretty dope. Because the units that he has to chain fight is he's running Skull Reapers, which reinforced block of 10 is nuts because they're doing mortal wounds.
It's disgusting.
They're 2 damage. They're 3 wounds each.
They're 4 attacks a model.
yeah, they are like that is the one unit that I have not got on the board yet. And yeah, they're nuts. They do some crazy damage. Rumgor Ritualist. I mean, she's basically just there to be another priest. Got my favorite pick, the Bloodthirst event of Unfettered Fury with the Relentless Hunger. 6-inch motor lust is nuts. It is so good. There is nothing like auto running 16 inches, sliding in another 6 inches, and just smashing stuff. It's pretty amazing. He took Argath, which got a nerf for this edition. I don't love it anymore, but it still lets you turn off for a hero, which is cool. Running the big block of reinforced bloodletters, like we were saying earlier, they're just crazy good. 2 wounds each, 20 dudes, 40 wounds. If they're in combat, they just recur bloodletters. Flesh Hounds do decent damage, or they're a bunch of attacks. They're beasts. They're only 1 control, but they're fast to get where they want to go. Regiment 2, he's running Slaughter Priest just for some more prayers. Got a unit of Blood Reavers for the Blood Tithe, and basically same with Claws of Karnak. They still have the 6-inch redeploy in the beginning, I think, don't they? I think I ran them in this. Let's see. But yeah, Khorne is a solid army for sure. And get on with
like the change to Argath. It is needlessly complicated.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. Let's see. Yeah, they do get the pre-move ability in the beginning of the game.
War removal shouldn't exist except for Sigvald.
Get out of here. But yeah, so yeah, this list is gonna chain fight, do a lot of damage, hard to deal with. You're gonna have a Bloodthirster flying around. Works really well with like power through if you're not
You're
doing
gonna
the
think
slide.
you can kill the bloodletters. You can't kill the bloodletters.
You can't kill the Bloodletters.
I have tried.
Bloodletters are stupid.
They're
You
really
can.
stupid.
You just need big boy damage.
No one has big boy damage, not even Gargans.
I got big
Trust
boy
me.
damage.
There's big
Joe
boy
could have some
damage
big boy
out there.
damage.
Joe's got a lot of damage. But yeah, so Khorne good. This will be fun. Love seeing the Skull Reapers. Has some blood tithe generation with the smaller units, which is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is
Acknowledge
gonna
I'm a hypocrite. I do not care.
yeah. The Bloodletters are like Goonies. They never die.
Yeah.
If you acknowledge you're a hypocrite, are you a hypocrite? Or you
I mean,
just
yeah.
something
technically.
more.
I do like the Claws of Karnak in this list. I think that's really spicy.
Yeah, it's a good hold them off for a bit.
I think not going
Or
for the
set
boom
yourself up for
thirster is
a
a huge
tactic.
loss,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
For what?
Not taking the bloodthirster is a huge loss. The boom thirster, all right?
The Boomthirster.
I mean,
Yeah.
fair.
I
But Unfettered Fury is just a better yo-yo thirster.
Well, the thing is, though, you can't yo-yo him because if you murder a lot, you can only power through. That's the one thing I don't like. So if you murder lust in the combat, you can't yo-yo because you can only power through if you charge.
Oh yeah. You
So
just don't murder less in the combat.
Yeah, but then
Murder
you're
less 3 inches away. Murder less 3 inches away. Charge and then power through.
Yeah, I know,
Right.
but it's just really fun to move 18 and like casually slide into combat. So yeah,
Payne says his points went down enough that he could boom.
nice.
Yes.
I was gonna say that was the problem before. Is I know the points, everything for Khorne pretty much went down across the board, but
And
But
yeah,
yeah.
I know Payne well enough. He's like, yeah, I just add 6 inches, then I yo-yo.
Yeah. yeah, for sure. I mean, moving 18 is good. Yeah, it's solid.
This is the thirster that's anti-infantry, I think.
Yeah, baby.
Or is he?
No, he's
Yeah.
monster. I think because pretty sure the Boomthirster's anti-infantry because he has
Yeah, anti-monster.
anti-monster.
Nice. Because I know it's a Wrath of Khorne that's anti-hero.
Yeah, and then Boomthirster's because Boomthirster has the monstrous action that gives you the 3 mortal wounds or 6.
Got it.
If it's 10 or more, so yeah, that's more the infantry clear.
Yeah.
But yeah, couple Khorne lists. This one, like I said, Ryan's running the dirty with all the bloodletters that will never die. But this will be fun with Skull Reapers doing 2 mortal wounds on crits, which is
And the chain fighting is just
yeah.
It's pretty sick. I've played against a similar list, and it's just like Yeah, you kind of just fuck on the combat, man.
Yeah.
There's
And the
nothing I
other
can do
thing,
about that.
yeah, and then he does. I mean, that Bloodthirster 2 does have the 3d6 charge for demons.
Mm-hmm.
So either the Flesh Hounds or the Bloodletter block is going to get a 3d6 charge.
Yep.
Which is going to ruin people's days.
It's pretty silly.
Every time 3d6 charge pops up, it's typically on a unit you don't want it on.
Yeah, like Scarbrand and stuff like that.
Right.
Gosh.
Just wait till those new Paladors come out, and I could take Gavriel Sureheart and give Cavalry a 3d6 charge. No interactions. Just send them.
Just send them.
Just send them.
Yeah, and then I was just checking. The Monstrous action on this Bloodthirster 2 is the Lash. So pick an enemy monster in combat. The target is in combat with this unit. It must pick this unit to be the target of the Paladin move, and it's -1 to hit, -1 to wound, which is just nuts. Which is really good. So yeah. So your monsters that are hitting on 4s are not hitting on 5s, that were wounding on 2s are now wounding on 3s. So yeah. Pretty cool. Oh yeah, and he can 3d6 himself now, that's right. He couldn't do that before, but in 4th ed, he can, so he can do that too.
Yeah.
So, solid list. I like Khorne, I miss Khorne, but I have other gods to answer to, so we'll get to that in a bit. But with
You're
that,
in your middle. You're in your middle of your other run. It's okay.
Yeah. Yep.
You'll come back to Popcorn soon enough.
I will.
I left Corn's
That
embrace. Moved to Nurgle.
that finishes up what's Chaos for now. We will be coming back to Chaos later.
Joe, it's your turn. Or
No.
no, Tyler's turn.
Alex?
My turn.
Tyler's Grand Alliance.
It is. Hi guys, I'm Tyler. Alright, so we're gonna talk a little bit about order. The 3 lists I chose some Lumineth Realm Lords, so we'll start with there. I believe his name is DJ. I have it written down here. I just gotta find it. It's DJ Jenkins from Lumineth, and he's from Bad Sportsmanship. So the first to note is he's starting at 1950, so he's always going to start that game with that sweet 5th command point against his opponent, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the Venari battle host, so his whole army, since they are Venari, are -1 to hit, period. It is brutal. The only thing in this list that does not get that are the River Blades, and we'll get to them in a minute. But everything is -1 to hit, which if your destruction, as previously aerially stated, this is the bane of your existence. This is the army you don't want to fight. This is the army you don't want to be matched up against. This is the army when you get and you go, let's go have a beer and let's talk about our life choices. And he's doing 2 big blobs of Sentinels, so he's definitely fishing for the mortal wounds at a distance. And then he's going to finish you up with the Dawn Riders, Mortals on the charge, and being able to be -1 to hit, Mortals on the charge, hit you in, and then power through those bad boys to where you're not going to get to hit them very hard or kill a lot of them.
Or at all. They're just they're gonna peace out.
Yeah. And then he has the twins, which I think, and we were talking about this recently here in San Antonio, they can get up to 7 damage turn 5. Because it's their base 2 plus their battle round, which is insane.
Yeah.
I think it's the highest just flat damage in the game, which is nuts.
Scarbrand says you're lying.
Scarbrand has flat 8.
Scarbrand can say that, but when an elf fucking comes and touches him and he dies, we'll talk about it in our therapy group later. It's called we're not all bad guys. You've seen it in Wreck-It Ralph. We kept it going. But the one thing I do want to highlight here that I find really exciting and interesting, because we've also had it down here with one of our members, Adam here, who does this, is the River Blades. They have a teleport move, so they can teleport in the game constantly. It is just during your movement phase. And they have to go from the board edge, but the fact that they can do that, it's phenomenal. They also have the ability to weave in and out of combats. They have to end in combat, but they go 2d6 inches, meaning they can charge into a screen and yeet out into the target they want to get into.
It's not a pylon move?
No, it's an ability. Let me read it to you.
This unit can move 2d6. It can pass through models and enemy units. It must end that move in combat. So they just kind of go, They just go 2d6 and go wherever the F they want. And it's
Hell
and it's any combat phase, so even if they're not in combat, they could just do 2d6.
They have the
Yep.
same. They have the same rampage as Stormgate Guard. Neat.
Yep. And then the crazy part is they're 3 attacks apiece, anti-hero. So you get a unit of them, and I believe they're unit size 10. That's 31 attacks at Ren 2 into any hero. And since they can yeet past your screen, there's not a lot you can do to prevent them from getting into you when he wants to do that.
No,
And I have
Why does Games Workshop lie to us and act
Jesus.
like Lumineth aren't the fucking like favorite child? Like
it is nuts, man. And
they love to act like they don't like give Lumineth special treatment, and then they do this bullshit.
yeah. And then back to their teleport. Their teleport is just a core thing. So they can just teleport. It's not like a once per game thing. It's a constant threat. That yes, it's from the board edge, like they end up on the board edge, but it's just a constant threat of like, where are you gonna go? What are you gonna do? And they're gonna touch what they want to touch.
Well, not only that, but like, so they can teleport off the board edge. They're within 9. They can try to charge. If they fail to charge, well, in the combat phase, we can just charge again because it's a combat ability. So they get 2 shots on that getting in the combat, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is a Warcry warband.
It is a war cry. And you know what?
But
the 2d6 move in the combat phase is better than a charge because you just have to end within combat.
Yeah.
yeah.
You don't have to end within half an inch.
Oh shit! So you can just end up. You need to
You
roll
just end 3 away. So you just have to roll 6 on 2d6.
6. Oh, that's freaking whack.
But you have to roll a 7 because you got to move 6.1.
Yeah.
Actually, that's incorrect because if you just have to get within your combat range to be considered to be in combat.
Yes, but you have to end outside 9 inches on that teleport.
Yes, that is
So
true.
you're 9.1 away, you move 6, you're 3.1 away, you're not in combat. So you're just looking for a 7 on 2d6.
You are, which is not hard. It's about average.
Yeah, you might say it's average.
It is.
Unless you're just.
And
It's still stupid.
it is, and it's a fantastic list. Like out of the tech list and everything that are good, the wind chargers are phenomenal. This list, I think, is going to be the Elven list that's going to catch people by surprise. And if done correctly, I think he can go 4-1 or 5-0 because I don't think people are ready for it. I don't think people are going to be like as coherent as thought as they were. They go, oh, well, these Riverblades didn't get into it. And then he's like, oh, yeah, by the way, I'm getting into your wizard. What?
Yeah. Well, that's after he pumps you full of 600
Of
points
mortals.
of sentinel shots.
Yeah. And his whole army, and then he charges in Dawn Riders, and you go, oh, I hit on 4s? Oh, no, you hit on 5s. That's cute.
I'm not going to lie. I look at this list and I go, I think people forget that sometimes this game is fun. This isn't fun.
Well, so I will defend him. I have played a variant of this list, and it is a very fun game without even with the -1 because you still can kind of feel like you can get stuff done versus like just getting pelted off the board because he does have to come to you to some extent with his main hammers.
Tyler, you
yes.
said you have to get you don't get pelted off the board, and he's still running 40 goddamn sentinels.
Hey man, you got to get in there, and you either die a pincushion or you die fucking Last Stand of the Alamo. Either way, it's fun to try.
How are you supposed to get in there if he's pelting you from further you can get to? And then
don't underestimate that one random still helm. It'll get there. But that's the Lumineth list. He has a Lord Regent variant, which he made a wizard. We will call him Harry Porker. And he has a once per turn where he can change the battle for a casting reroll, which is pretty good. And he's taking Morbid. So he's taking Morbid Conjuration, which, by the way, means if those Riverblades get into your hero, that's -3 on 31 attacks into your hero. Just putting that out there. It is crazy.
with Sun?
Yeah, with Purple Sun.
Yeah.
And so that's the elf list. It's going to be fun. It's going to be hard. And I think you can go all the way. And so the next list we're going to talk about is the Cities of Sigmar from Cinto at WAC. And I just love this list personally. I think it's a very fun, flavorful list. I think he has thought out his process very well. And for me, as someone who plays cities extensively since 4th has dropped, I've never seen someone do Fortress City, and I've always wondered about it. But on my point of view, he's still doing the Master Ballistics, Fusiliers, 42 shots, 3s and 3s into whatever he wants to kill. And it has high damage potential, about 15 wounds on the 3s and 3s. But the swing is crazy because you can do very well, or you can hit fucking like 11 shots and you're just staring at the end of a wall. And then the rest of his stuff is he starts in a fortified position and he's -1 to wound. And with the dwarves and the Rune Lord, where he's going to try to get the +1 to chant and get extra rend to get that 10 plus rend, 10 plus spell to where he gets both his units +1 rend with Holy Within 12 with him, which is a pretty big aura. He can also get +1 to save, -1 to wound with the plus if he gets it high enough. And the -1 to rend innately turn 1, which means if anyone alpha strikes into his doors, they're already coming up against a steel wall. It's gonna be crazy, and I guarantee you someone will make that mistake and go turn 1 full bore into his army, where they are all fortified, they're all -1 to wound, and they go, I wonder what I just ran into. And then he has the Dark Riders for the extra high mobility movement, and they are phenomenal. They can retreat. I believe it was retreat in combat on their choice. Let me look. Give me a moment.
So I feel like the only thing you want to charge into turn 1 is the Fusiliers, but you're not going to get to the Fusiliers most likely.
Yeah.
So even charging the Fusiliers turn 1, they start in fortified position, even if you take the first turn. So they ignore a pip of rend on the charge because they're in that fortified position.
Care about charging them, though. You care about the fact that they won't shoot.
Yeah, but here's the thing: they have shoot in combat, and with the double reinforced, they're still 20 shots into you.
They're shooting combat if they're unfortified, and they can't unfortify if you while they're fortified, unless they retreat, in which case they can't shoot you anyway. Because pile and move does not shoot out of fortification.
I believe they can shoot even if they're not fortified, even if they are fortified.
The new FAQ says they can. The old one says no. It was like a weird. Yeah, like they will be able to, but if they're fortified, I think they just can't shoot because you can't pick their.
If you charge them while they are fortified, they cannot. Then the only way that they can get unfortified is if they retreat, because a pile and move does not unfortify them, so they can't shoot in combat.
That is true. I am looking. That's why that
they are really tanky still. So the only reason you would do it is to just shut off the shooting.
Yeah,
but the dark. Go ahead, Jeff.
As I said, they can retreat end of turn basically.
Yeah.
Yep, they cause mortals and they can bounce out. And then the executioners are just fucking fishing for fucking mortals.
Yep.
They're gonna delete whatever they touch, and then with the sorceress with them, just kind of lightly tapping whatever they are in combat with, is they're gonna have the ability to so word of pain to be able to once per turn in combat phase to subtract -1 to hit and wound rolls, meaning again, I'm sorry, destruction. It's gonna suck real hard. running into Sinto's list because it's just really well balanced to be received into alpha and then expand after that. And I really like what he did. I play cities only. I've only played cities, and Fortress Defenders is very good. And you're gonna have to really think about it. What you want to do? Like, do you really want to get stuck in with an army that is made to debuff what you're doing?
Yeah.
And he brought the Kronspine, so when he doesn't want to deal with a monster, he just summons his own monster.
Yeah, there is one thing you're forgetting, and it's literally
what am I forgetting?
The Callus and Pull, which is fucking insane for 200.
I didn't forget about it. Everyone knows about it. It's for meta. It is Callus and Pull. They are phenomenal. They have a great book. They're fucking. If you don't have Warhammer Plus, subscribe for that one episode. Watch it. It is the shit.
Yep.
I still get them confused. I still get them confused on who is fucking who. But they are. It is probably one of the best regiments of renown Order can have access to outside of Neve Black Talon, and it is a. If I believe it right, 1, 2, 3, 4. It is 12 wounds just from the second group, their little bodyguards. 10 wounds for the heroes. And the heroes are 3 shots apiece with their pistols, 4 attacks with their things, anti-wizard. They can drop in like Stormcast because why the fuck not? I guess they have a Stormcast guy. And their whole sole purpose is just to basically ruin lives and be a threat. And they do exactly that. Like, they take buffs well, they're heroes, they're extremely fucking tanky. And everyone who plays them, the dog dies first. It's
Yep.
what happens. It's
Yeah.
always what happens. Your
Kill the
opponent
dog.
feels bad, you feel bad, PETA shows up at your door at some point, and it's a really bad experience. But that's what happens. And it's a constant threat. And they're not a slouch. Like,
Yeah.
No.
they can handle so much. And it's 230 points.
Yep. And
Yeah.
they're 3 attacks each. 3s and 3s, 1 damage. Like,
Yeah, and then they
The
have
unit is so
anti-wizard.
goddamn efficient that if you're playing cities, you are almost gimping yourself by not including it.
Yeah,
And if you're playing order at all, you'd be
How's it-
remiss to not strongly consider including it. in your
yeah,
army.
I think it's at 230. It should be an auto take for anybody that plays order. And as we saw with the points update thing today, nothing changed.
They didn't change.
They're exactly the same. And I'm sorry, it's 4 attacks each. 3s and 4s, 1 rend 2 damage, which and anti-wizard, which is bananas. The 3 attacks, 3s and 3s is the shooting profile, which
It's nuts.
it's fine. But
it's damage 2, but they're damage 2 against wizards. So
Yeah.
like you drop back and you go, oh, you're the 5 wound wizard that you thought was gonna live, dead. Your little 12 wound hero, or even fucking 15 wound like Griffin wizard. Oh, you can just fucking take 12 damage.
well, and it's 4 damage against manifestations in close combat. It's double damage.
Yep.
Yeah,
So yeah, they're like, man.
like
I wish Chaos had something. Well, Chaos has Brand, but
Brand is bonkers.
yeah,
Brand.
Brand is really good too. But yeah, Chaos and Toll is amazing.
Like the
Yeah.
only thing that could rival that, and I haven't seen it, is Neve. And Neve is just crazy as well. But no one's taking him, so we're not gonna get into that. But that's my little expert on Neve there. She's nuts. Also, if you haven't yet, Warhammer Plus, Black Talons, fucking amazing. GW, I accept gratuity if you're listening. Or just give us back our Sigmar app. Just stop fucking cock blocking us with random unneeded shit, and we'll call it even.
Honestly, yeah.
Fucking 6 years of fucking Sigmar not having this shit and whatever. All right. Last but not least, we're getting into a list that I have actually had the pleasure of playing against this past Saturday, last Saturday, and it is Patrick Billups with his Menage a Trois of trees. It sounds like a prickly, thorny time. It is going to be great. You'll love it. And if you have not yet seen it, Patrick's army is phenomenal. It is beautiful. If you lose to it, it's like you're a deer in the headlights because it's just so goddamn pretty.
Yes.
It is just amazing. So he is Sylvanas. He is the only Sylvanas player there, which is a little bit surprising. I thought there'd be 2, but we'll get there in the thing. He's playing the Outcast, so everything is -3 to control if you're just in combat with him, which is pretty crazy because monsters that are 5 can walk up, kill some stuff, pretty much take most objectives. Same thing with his other units who can just kind of come in and go, oh, I killed a couple of dudes. I have the objective now. He's taking the Aetherwalk machineries, which is also just very good, in my opinion. -1 to hit for most of his army, for his wizard, which is Aurelia. So if you can just picture a giant beetle and you going, oh, I hit on 4s, now I hit on 5s. Great, as the beetle fucking rams you in the face.
Yep.
He is also taking the big block Kurnoth Hunters or Great Bows, who ignore the guarded hero shit. So
Yeah.
not only does he not get -1 to shoot against you, you just fucking take it because they're Ren 2 bows against heroes, which is crazy. It is so good. And they're not even bad in combat. Like, they're not gonna kill you, but like you're not gonna remove a ton of turn.
No, they're pretty tanky. They're always really tanky.
And then on top of that, he's taking the man, the myth, the legend, the Belthanos of the first Thorn of Kurnoth, who gives run and charge just 3 units board wide for fucking, I don't know, just because he fucking feels like it, I guess. And which means you're in a constant threat from the god of life, fucking Durthu, who just wants to touch you with his fucking wooden stick, and the fucking grasshopper from fucking Bug's Life. I don't know if you remember that as a kid. That shit was terrifying.
I very much do.
Like, you are the ants, that is the grasshopper, and he is not very happy. And it's not his brother. It's not the happy-go-lucky one. It's the one that rips your arms off.
Yeah.
And Belthanos is just phenomenal. It'll get in there, it'll fuck your day up, and he'll bounce out. And he can also kind of do what Riverblades do. It's a rampage, and he's stealthed in combat. But if he gets into your screen, he can jump like a grasshopper and land closer to what he wants. You're in constant threat from it. And he comes with 2 Glismart archers, which are very high mobile units who can shoot, and if I remember correctly, can bounce out afterwards.
Yeah, I think so. I'm double checking right now, actually.
Me too. Who's going to get there first?
Me.
Not me.
I got it. Huh.
I do not
So
have
once
it.
per turn, shooting phase, after they shoot, they can just move D6. So countercharge? Not very likely.
Yeah, they
Charge
could.
both units.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah.
They could covering fire and do that too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, which is crazy. And their crit auto wound. So he fucking just 6, and then they get shoot in combat with that as well, which is amazing. They also have 2-inch coherency, which is pretty good for archers because it means they can expand their range a little bit for that 2 inches.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, Spirit of Durthu, you know him, you love him. He comes with a giant stick that he says, "Get off my lawn" with. He is amazing. And pretty much, if he touches you, you pretty much are that guy. If you ever saw that Batman rock and roll like cartoon where the guy like fakes dead because Batman's teabagging that dude, that's what you do when Durthu swings the sword. You just kind of fake dead because if you don't, he's gonna fucking whack you in the face. He's a monster hunter. He's 3s and 2s, 2 damage, 5 damage. He could do 20 damage with his sword. Even at -1, he hits on 4s. Like, I'm not a statistics guy, but statistically, Durthu should be killing you. And along with everything else, he'll be Rend 3 with the spell from the Rend, and just it's insane. And he's a monster hunter. He gets +1 to hit when he's next to Wildwood, so he's 2s and 2s on his sword. So statistics even higher. All you math hammer guys out there, I don't know the math. Put it in the thing. It's dumb. It's a lot of damage.
If Durthu stubs his toe, does he go to D6 damage or does he stay at 6 now?
No, it goes up to 10, Joe, because he gets an angry tree. He turns into an angrier tree.
I know, but does he go to D6 damage down from 6?
No, he doesn't. No,
No.
he's flat 5 now. All the
Yeah.
time.
Flat 5,
He just
dude.
loses 2 attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
He
cooler.
literally goes from 20 to 10.
Oh, sorry. He loses 1 attack.
Like,
Two.
it's done. It's done. And it's amazing. And you will play Patrick and you'll have the greatest time. He is the most wonderful person ever. And then with Durthu, he has Spellslinger, so whenever he's next to a wildwood or a piece of terrain that they designate, I think, as their power or something or whatever, he becomes a wizard, which means he'll throw a tree out and then go walk next to that tree because he is a tree hugger and he says, "This is mine. I will kill you if you touch it." He is Inigo Montoya. You've killed his tree. He will kill you back.
Prepare
That's
to
how
die.
this will do. Yeah, prepare to die. And then just when you think you killed Durthu, he has a chance to go, nah.
just yeah.
All that effort, nah. And he can come back with his artifact and Seed of Rebirth. And then I found this out, and this was my first time ever playing this lady. But Aurelia the Everqueen. Did you know, on top of what she can do,
She brings
she
in a
can
unit.
bring back units.
She brings back a unit.
She can bring back a unit. So even when you think you killed that Durthu and he failed that roll to survive, she goes, I grew this motherfucker back.
Yeah.
You can
And
bring
you just
back
kinda
that
sit there
ass on my
going-
face.
Mhm. It's not the good kind of smothering, Joe. It's the unwanted kind.
From
Says
Aurelia?
you.
Nah, she can do whatever she wants.
That is true.
I am
It
down
bothers me so
horrendous.
much, guys, that they're saying it wrong. I'm sorry, chat.
And also, here's the crazy part: she can bring herself back. So even when you go, I killed the god of life, I'm feeling pretty good. This is my high moment of my career in Warhammer. She can go, that's cute.
Here I is.
And then and then you just kind of sit there and go, hmm. And you kind of think about your life choices again and where you went wrong. And I mean, it is on a roll, so he does have to make a roll for it. And,
Yeah, it's on 3-up.
And God bless, it's a 4-up. It's a 4-up. But God bless it.
It's a 4-up?
Yeah, I'm
That's
reading it right now. Roll a dice on a 3-up. On a 4-up, set up a replacement unit for half the number of models from target unit, blah, blah, blah. Within an icon or this unit. If the target was a monster, allocate 8 damage. So just let's put this in perspective. She is a 16 wound model. Now on a 4-up, she comes back with half health.
Yeah.
Which means on your turn, if you're not in combat with her, he can fucking rally her and heal her even more.
Yeah, let's not forget she heals 2d3 over hero phase too.
Yup.
You also get the stand next to a tree, heal a D3.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And if she's full, she'll just make herself +1 to cast.
Yep. And let's put this in perspective too for all you future tree lovers out there, because I was almost one of them. If you took the Lords of the Lodge or whatever, the Lords of the Glade, she just heals a flat 3 because she's a monster. So that's 2d3 heals plus flat 3 plus rally.
I don't think you're gonna need the rally.
you don't need the rally. For me playing Alariel, I'm not a player. Basically, Alariel has 2 states. She's either alive and she has full health, or you were fortunate and you killed her.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. She's alive or dead.
Yep.
Like there is no wound counter on her ever.
Yeah.
It's like facing Lord Croak and going, did I do enough wounds to keep her down? I did not.
Yep.
Her biggest weakness is Master of Poisons.
Mm-hmm. Her biggest weakness is statistics. And can you roll that 4-up?
Yeah.
But other than that, the list is beautiful. And I will say this again. If you have not seen his army, check it out. It is immaculate.
Soap is right. He's like, you went wrong if you targeted her to begin with. just run away with her.
And the thing is, with the run and charge, you don't know who's going to come and touch you.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just, he goes, at the charge phase, he goes, this unit, this unit, and this unit. And you go, you had to think about the whole army.
I miss War
And I don't know about y'all, but Aurelia in your face, terrifying. Terrifying. But that's all my army choices for order. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I hope to see y'all in Houston.
Okay, we got one more section.
Okay, let's go.
We're going to talk about our own list.
Oh, okay. Who's first?
Me.
Woo!
As one of 4 resident rat players.
Yeah, this is why I did not pick rats for chaos.
Yeah.
He does run rats.
Woo! My list is pretty much exactly what you see. Virulent Procession makes those Plague Monks just move at the end of turn combat. I have an Arch Warlock with Giselles that are just going to pew-pew things. I have a Gracier on Screaming Bell that's going to either debuff or do some mortals, probably in the wrong order, based on how I've been rolling lately. It's a 2-cast wizard. The Deceiver is going to be on one side of the board, then be on the other side of the board decently enough, and hit you with a bunch of mortal or shoot you with a bunch of auto wound attacks. Maybe he'll run away. Maybe he'll do some teleport. Maybe he'll be Ren 4 to something for a little bit of fun. And then there's a big wall of clan rats. The army does a lot of movement stuff, board clogging, controlling with a little bit of shooting, little bit of rat movement. The rats like to move in their normal phase. They also like to move in your hero phase. You get to pick a unit that moves 6 inches. Well, mostly 6 inches in this list because I can't move the Deceiver. And basically is a wall of bodies that may incidentally kill you. It's only got 2 real hammers, and even then, one of the hammers is kind of fuck up with tactics and just be everywhere you think he's not supposed to be. There's not that much to talk about with the Skaven list, unless you want me to talk for like an hour.
Well, why don't you let the good people know about the Giselles?
Giselles, which are not as good now with the tome as they were with the index. They're 18-inch range. If they don't move, they get plus 6 inches of the range. They basically are constant 24-inch threat range. The Arch Warlock, which used to make them ignore the debuff from covering fire, now just makes covering fire free, which is still good. Like, it's not bad. I'm not going to shortcut it. There are 2 attacks apiece, 4s and 3s base, Ren 2 damage with crit auto wound. You will probably see me do priority target 99 times out of 100. That's what it's going to be. So against the General's Regiment, 3s and 2s.
Until Monday.
Until Monday.
I was going to say this weekend.
That's okay. Because after this weekend, the lists I'm going to try don't have Giselles in them. So, because Visit costs a lot of points. But yeah, the idea is just put a bunch of bodies on the board, kind of move up the field. The clan rats are going to be super, super difficult to kill. The Plague Monks move around the board, do tactics, get in combat, do some mortals. They have the same combat profile as clan rats, just with a slightly worse save. The Gnawholes let me do some moving around the board. Let me do some tactic stuff. The army likes to do some tactics, deny some a little bit, and it's just really it's a mobile swarm, which is really cool. I haven't played a massive infantry list in years until I started playing lists like this again. And it's been a really fun change of pace compared to playing old Seraphon and being like superhero hammer. The Bell of Doom makes a lot of my stuff -1 to wound. I project a warp from the Screaming Bell. I do the Warp Lightning Vortex fucks with like charges and such. The Vermintide likes to pin things. I have prayers, but I have no priest, so I can't do anything with that right now because I did not have time to test the list with Plague Pack and find something I like. Start 5 command points in the first round with free covering fire. Means that Deceiver is a more mobile threat than people like to give it credit for, which is fun because I typically have countercharge up while not losing out on anything. Thanks to Clan Rats going down 10 points. That was a very nice change. I dropped points and got to 1950.
And Warpstone Charm is up -1 rend.
Mine is -1 to save for any attacks that go into the unit you target. So the fun trick is I can Warpstone Charm and then bounce out, and the Clan Rats will get an additional save.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So there's some fun rend tactics with that. Or what I typically do with the Deceiver is I go, that's a nice, really high armored unit you have. Here's a bunch of Ren 4 attacks with crit mortal. He took down Manfred once. It was very nice.
Sweet.
He does a lot of damage.
He does a lot of damage. He's 8 attacks, 3s and 3s, Ren 3, 2 damage with crit mortal. And then his Doomstar as well, which is the very fun thing I like to covering fire with when people like play around Giselles too much. Because it's 6 attacks, 3s, 3, Ren 1, 2 damage with crit auto wound. And they're like, oh, that's not a bad shooting attack either. And I'm like, no, and that thing is not dead. Charge.
Nice.
It's only 13-inch range. But again, the Deceiver has effective with the right die rolls, has like a 55-inch movement characteristic in a turn.
Seems good. Fuck that Lumineth.
He moves very far.
Some Sentinels and Wardens, I bet.
The big thing, the thing that changed with the spells that I want to highlight, the Wither spell used to be the unlimited spell. It's not anymore. It's now Skitter Leap, and you can Skitter Leap any of the heroes in this, which is neat. So Skitter Leaping the Bell onto an objective they left alone, then running the Clan Rats up near it. So I cover way more distance than I used to, and Skitter Leaping the Deceiver in front of something and being like, "Hello, what are you gonna do now?"
You can leap the bell too.
I can leap the bell. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
They took away the wound characters restriction, and what's really funny is on the opponent's turn, I can skitter leap and then always 3 claw steps ahead to effectively give something that isn't the vermin a 3-inch charge.
That's all. It's fun.
If only the vermin lords could do always 3 steps ahead. But GW was smart and decided not to let that happen.
For once.
It is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I would run 4 vermin lords. and absolutely use the warp seer's extra 2 inches to make vermin lords 12 inches.
Would be awesome though.
Yeah. It would be awesome, but it would be really strong.
New routes fun.
But yeah. Skaven is a ton of fun to play. I'm having a blast, and I have like 12 lists that I'm going to try out after Hammerfest is over. It's great. I can't wait to match into this and delete you for not choosing my list. It would be fun. I would love to play you, so we have not gotten a game against each other. We keep dodging each other and getting real close. It's going to be onto that objective, I dare you. But yeah, it's fun. It casts 4 spells. It uses the Skaven endless spells because I'm not a coward and not running Morbid.
Also, because Bell's pretty fucking good.
The Bell of Doom is pretty fucking good. -1 to wound rolls is really sweet.
Yeah.
Basically, the whole list is centered around the whole book is centered around infantry and running infantry buffs, and so I just kind of zoned in on that synergy. And 3 drops, so I win sometimes. But that's the list.
Here.
Nice.
Sounds
It's good
spicy.
stuff. Played against it. It's got strong synergies.
Yeah, unless your whole army's 3-up save. I'm not gonna.
Don't fail your teleports.
Also true.
My next.
Yes, you're next, Joe.
Speaking of 3-up saves.
Okay. My list isn't anything special. It's Stormcast. Formation Sentinel of the Bleak Citadel, so one of my Ruination units is going to get a 5-up ward for free. That's pretty cool. I have 2 casts. They're going to be spent trying to get Morbid Conjuration out. And then I want to spam the D6 charge spell or the -1 to wound spell. Those are both pretty good. I have Bastion in the list for free all-out attacks. Free all-out attack is really powerful. Bastion gets to bring anything, which is long strikes because long strikes are strong. The only thing really in the list that you need to watch out for is the Lord Terminos Reclusian Quicksilver Drought package. With the FAQ, basically says if a unit has strike first and it has chain activation, as long as there's nothing in between the unit with strike first and chain activation and the unit they're chain activated into, they can chain into each other. So if you charge me without some way to hand out strike last or have 2 strike firsts in combat that round, I will hit you and then chain activate into Reclusians before you get a chance to do anything. So be careful. Don't run head first into that if you're not expecting it. And if you don't have any kind of tech to deal with it, just pop the Quicksilver Drought. Something's got to get sacrificed. It's just how it is. But really, that's it. Quester Soulsworn are Callous and Toll, but no range attacks. And Gryph-hounds are fast. There you go. That's my list.
Spicy.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Bastion isn't a warlord or whatever.
He is
it
not
was,
a War Master,
leader.
surprisingly. Even
Yeah,
though he
crazy,
is the
right?
Lord Commander.
Bastion's not a War Master?
No, Bastion is not a
That
War
feels like
Master.
an oversight.
Nah.
I am.
I mean, Stormcast can take any breaks with list building they can get, but
Right.
They had to give Self and Prime something. So
Right. This is me saying eventually priority targets is going to get nerfed. So no prio targets for the long strikes. Bodyguards all the way for Reclusians. So this is where we're at. But yeah, there you go. That's my list.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Well, heck yeah. Who's next? Jeff.
I'm waiting for the scroll. Alright, like I said earlier, I'm serving other gods right now, so I'm playing slaves. 2-drop, running the Chaos Sorcerer and Mana Core. I like him because he gives Monster Strike Blast on a 3-up, which is pretty solid, especially sneaky with counter charge, and then if you're into a monster, you can make them fight less and murder them, which is kind of fun. Got Infernal Puppet, which does damage to wizards when they try to cast a spell. I always forget to friggin' use it, so I don't know why it's there, but there it is. Got Radiance of Dark Glory. Start of the hero phase. Units within 12 heal 3. Or heal on a 3-up, heal 1. If it's a monster, heals 3. So he's there to heal himself up 3, heal Abraxia up 3. Got 2 units of 5 Chaos Knights. Nurgle marked, -1 to hit, 4 wounds. They're tanks, they do damage, they're pretty great. Abraxia, Spirit Ever Chosen. She's nuts. I mean, she lets Vanguard fight twice. And the second fight doesn't have to fight last. She does a shitload of damage. She bounces damage. She has a spear. She does mortal wounds. She's crazy. She's really good for 360 points. Chaos Legionnaires. They're just the garbage unit that's there, but they have a cool trick where end of my movement phase, if I'm within 6 inches on a 4-up, they turn off your commands, which is kind of cool. Fell Riders, they're really dope. They're fast. They, pepper people with shots that do D3 damage. So they're there to get objectives and get in the way and stuff like that. And then the sauce of all sauce, the 6 Corn-marked Vanguard, which went up 10 points, which is a travesty that slaves will never recover from. But, they do a little bit of damage and get an extra attack on the charge and literally kill everything I ever put them into. And when I mean everything, I mean 3-4 units of everything. They're just insane. So good. And then the Nexus Chaotica looks really cool, doesn't do much. And yeah, that's my list.
It doesn't do much.
No.
It does something. It doesn't do nothing.
So it rolls D6. I get power points. If I have 3 and I'm within combat range, I can get +1 to cast.
Mm-hmm.
If I roll a 9, or if I have 9 power points, I can pick a objective, or I could pick a piece of terrain, and then everything within 3 inches of it takes the D3 mechanic. So it's 2 mortal wounds on a 3/4, and then 3 mortal wounds on a 5/6, and on 1 they take nothing. And then this God's Wrath Warband, at the end of every one of my turns, I desecrate an objective, and again do the D3 mechanic essentially on any enemy units that are on that objective.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fast, it's all cav. It's mostly all cav. It does a lot of damage. It has a lot of threats. Vanguard are really good. Knights are good. Braxy is good. It's a lot to deal with. It's coming fast, going for your throat, and it's fun. So yeah, that's my list.
It hurts. It's painful.
It does. It is painful.
I will never forgive you for killing my Deceiver with 2 Vanguard.
Sorry.
Don't apologize for being a god.
He rolled so many 6. He stuck to the plan.
Yes.
And when you stick to the plan, you win games.
Yep.
People really don't believe me.
Vanguard go bear.
Vanguard do go burr. All right.
How they got mortal wounds on crit mortals, I'll never understand.
Well, they can have 3 damage a pop.
Yeah,
because they are gods.
You need crit mortals.
Yeah.
That guy was cooking.
That guy was cooking.
Yeah, crystal meth. High as a kite.
High as a kite. All right.
All right, Tyler, what are you bringing?
Oh, I'm bringing what is proverbially known as jank. I am the jankiest of the jank, and for my list, so I'm playing only humans. I started Cities of Sigmar at the end of 3rd when they announced that my beloved army that I've played for a very long time was getting the proverbial axe out of Sigmar.
Oh, no.
And I made the
Going out.
decision that I didn't want to spend the year learning Beast of Chaos and only for it to be axed and to move to a new army. So I just moved to a new army. And I am playing Cities of Sigmar, and I am all humans all the time, baby, representing the normal people of the world. And it's what the army feels like. It feels like I am a normal human in a realm of gods because we hit on 4s, we wound on 4s, and by God, we come with the tenacity to hit you so much. But it's like when you see the nerds fight in other movies and they're slapping each other, that's the whole army the entire time. Until you get to Thalia. She is the god among gods. She will smother you to death. I love her to death. And I have 2-shot King Broad with her, and I have 1-shot other things. She is the beast. She is the lioness of the
Hot
park.
damn.
She is a glass cannon, proverbially. She hits like a fucking tank. If you do. And I just love her to death. I also have the Callison Toll because, as Eli pointed out earlier and Jeff pointed out earlier, why the fuck not? Why wouldn't you? There's no reason you shouldn't. But near and dear to my heart in this list I have are my flagellants. I've had them since 8th edition Sigmar. I call them my war veterans. People kill them viciously. They try their damnedest and they do very well. I love them to death. They're the perfect screens. And then I have Master Ballistics, which everyone has, and I have 2 units of Fusiliers because I really dig having 2 units of 10 dudes shooting 21 shots at 3s and 3s at 2 different targets. It really gets that chip-in damage that I love. And I guarantee you my first Fusiliers will probably always be priority targets because I can't use Cavaliers correctly. They are giant walls of anvil and hammer, and I somehow always find the anvil. I leave the hammer at home for some reason. Even when I don't plan to, some hotshot person comes in and goes, 12 on the charge. And I'm like, it's great.
Just
we'll be
with
here
the
for
charge
4
range,
turns.
I guess.
Yeah, man. And I learned this week, actually. So I'm taking the Sacred Tome, which I normally don't take. But I learned with asking the beloved TOs of Hammerfest that I can actually choose to, since he is a wizard, I can choose to spend my prayer or my spell to banish a manifestation and then do the other one, of which I didn't do. So I could sacrifice my prayer to banish manifestation and still cast a spell, or vice versa, which just makes that little one wizard, whose name is Granny Smith, very, very awesome.
That is supremely flexible.
Yeah, that's super cool.
It is awesome, and I love it. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, I have no fucking idea what I'm gonna do with it, but I'm gonna try my damnedest.
Dispel a purple sun.
I'm gonna fucking kill it with Callison Toll is what I'm gonna do.
So, yeah, why waste a banish when Callison
man.
can do it for you?
But I am taking Aetherworks Machinery. I do think it is probably, in my opinion, one of the best manifestations even before the changes. With the change to the pendulum where you can just move into combat and do flat, straight mortals on a 2-up is phenomenal. Saves me tons against armies that I know are coming into me turn 1, turn 2, get it out and go, your turn, I can move it. So
is that the San Antonio pick? Because I've seen that a lot against all you guys, right? Y'all are bringing it?
Yeah. A lot of us are bringing it. A lot of us are trying it. There's at least 3 of us, me, Brandon, and Patrick. I'll have it. And the crazy thing is, we didn't talk about it. We all made this willingly, so we are a hive mind. Now, Brandon will probably use it the best. I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. I just trying things. And if it works, it works.
I mean, to be fair, Pendulum is really strong, and the main thing holding back Pendulum compared to like Morbid is that the other endless spells aren't as good, but like they're still not bad.
No, the true thing, and we'll talk about this elephant in the room. The true thing that keeps the Pendulum from being good is that it's the Zoolander spells. It can't turn left.
It can't turn left.
It tries its fucking hardest, but it has one look. And it's forward.
It's forward.
And then it has blue steel, and it moves backwards, but it's still the same look.
Yeah.
And Morbid Conjuration is just a better looking person who can turn left.
Who can turn left.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
But at least
God, do I fucking love
mobility
it.
is relevant for the most part, unlike Half
It
of
is.
Purple Sun's War Scroll.
Dude, I can't tell you. My biggest threats on my army are all the stupid undead shit and throwing a fucking. And I don't know what it is. Dice gods hate me. If you ever want to learn what statistics means, don't play me because you roll so hot and I roll so poorly that you will want to drink for me.
Yeah, we have one of
That's how it's
those here. That's me.
But
yeah,
you're
and
except for your Vanguard, Jeff. Don't lie.
hey,
I've seen
hey,
what they do. I've seen
every blind squirrel finds a nut eventually.
It's always the
And
Vanguard. That's okay.
and I'm just telling you, when someone comes up to you and goes, statistically you should roll well, and I go, these 5 games this weekend I'd really like to roll well, not this next Friday night here 6 months from now. But yeah. But that's my list. It's all humans. It's all for the humanity thing. It's called the Hanged Men. We are the undead of the human race. And we die a lot because all I bring is bodies. That's it. And a lion. She is a Dami mommy. She is here to dominate.
It's cool. I like the list, Tyler.
Hey,
It looks really fun.
it is. If you ever want to run it, let me know.
I
Maybe
like
you'll
Tyler.
figure it out.
I like Talia a lot. She's really cool.
Yeah. She is
Talia is awesome.
a
Yeah.
beautiful model, and in my opinion, she's the best model in cities, and I'm probably the only one that thinks so, but that's okay. I also like Kings of War, and I'm the only one that does.
I think she's probably my favorite model. I almost bought that model to convert my sorcerer.
You fucking should have, because that would have looked sick. Chaos bits.
The reason I didn't is the Chaos Sorcerer went to Old World, so I'm assuming we're gonna get one. Get a new one.
Dude, if you don't get one,
Mhm.
riot.
Yeah, I think because a lot like Slaves is the next Battle Tome after Stormcast. So I'm pretty sure that we're gonna get them. We lost Eli.
Hopefully.
Oh, there he is.
He went to go get a cat.
Doggo.
No, dog. But that's my list. I appreciate y'all letting me hang out for the couple of hours. This was fun.
Yeah, for sure.
I learned a very lot that I will probably forget by this weekend, but
I already forgot. You're good.
I look forward
Rosie,
to seeing
say hi.
everybody. Hi. You say Rosie or Dixie?
Rosie.
I don't know. Rosie.
I was asked where dog. I got dog.
My dog's asleep on the ground. He's very mad at me.
Nice. All right, guys. Well, that's our list review. I know some of you are probably disappointed that we didn't cover your list or didn't choose your list, and honestly, we're a little disappointed we couldn't do all of them. But them's the breaks.
It's a short turnaround.
Yeah, a few things. Yeah, and a couple. I was gonna say a few things. We are streaming this weekend at HAMMERFest. We're gonna do table audio, so we'll be streaming both days. We just bought a stream PC. We're gonna do that. We are only 9 people away from 300 followers, so please hit the follow button for us if you don't mind. If you got that out,
Jack, who followed us earlier.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, we're really close.
Zach.
Yep. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Just please follow for the culture, and yeah, check us out. Thanks, Rosanna. We appreciate you. We'll be streaming this weekend too, so it'll be table audio. It's our first go around, but yeah, we'll see how that works.
Yeah. For everyone that's here that will be there, we look forward to seeing you guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Forward to
blessed.
having it.
All right.
I'll be there. I'll be the loud guy there. Look forward to seeing everybody.
It's getting late. I'm going to release all of our wonderful viewers to enjoy the rest of their nights however they see fit, and us to get what we need done before the night gets too late. So, thank you guys. Love y'all, and remember to stay weird.
I love you all. Have a good day. See you.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.